I'm sorry you're having so much trouble here tonight.
Yeah, I should have done a
X,
test screen
that
earlier.
sucks.
Come on. Okay, did that create another new URL?
Hello, I'm Commander Ex.
I don't
Hold
think
on.
so.
I'm sorry you're having so much trouble.
Although I just heard you. Nope, it did. So
Gee,
if you can put in that
no.
chat, can you find the new URL, Aposto?
Hold on, it's not giving it to me.
Here it is. There you go.
Thanks. Yeah, that's playing better too. So hold on.
Okay, let's try this. You know what? I think it was simply the NVEC encoding on the GPU. Now that I've got it in software, I think that might have been all it was. Which means I could go back to the original URL. You think we should do that?
I don't know. Let's see, because you got 17 people, 18 people are coming on now.
Okay, maybe we'll just stay here then.
We had 76 people at
Yeah,
one
I
point.
saw 80 or something at one point.
Got up to
Yeah.
like 88.
So,
Somebody hit the original one. The original. Hold on, I got it.
I
Here
don't
in
even
front of me.
have the original
I've got it.
one
I've
now.
got it. I've got it.
On the
Okay.
original one.
But I think the original chat is now closed, isn't it? Yes, it is. Let me put in the comments. All right, we'll see if anybody happens to come over from that. Well, guys, hopefully, all right, we got 27 coming. If you guys can confirm things are better, that would be great. All right, doing my next boost here. Gonna just try to keep up the speed here. Now we're okay. We're not quite in neutron only territory. We're about to hit that. And see if I'd have done that right. Oh, actually, no. What I'm saying, I was going to say I would have charged before I plotted, but you can't really charge before you plot. Things are so much better. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, that's really weird. So what fixed it, guys? And again, forgive me for all of this. What fixed it was switching to using CPU encoding rather than GPU. And I've always done it with GPU. So it kind of is what it is. At this point, I'm not changing it again. I'm sorry, guys. Like, there's nothing else. Okay, I'm seeing way better, but super choppy at a start. That's not surprising. Let's let it chill for a second and see if everything stabilizes. Yeah, Elite is using a whopping 12% of my CPU, and streaming is using 20. Maybe it's time to get a capture card. Yeah, okay, so again, I'm sorry about that, guys. I will make it up to you all here in just a moment, and we'll do a giveaway. And then I'll sort all this out for the next stream. Nothing like taking a long break and then coming back and sucking ass, right?
It happens.
All right, 3 more jumps until we get to neutrons. And so, all right, let's get back on topic. So one of the things somebody asked earlier was about hot jumping, and basically what he was getting at, and if I had a heat sink, I'd be synthesizing reloads for it. Basically, if you'll notice, I have to wait a second after my FSD has cooled down before I can charge for jump again. Well, if I had, essentially, because of synthesis, unlimited heat sinks, I could literally just, as soon as it's cooled down, start charging again and save myself a good maybe 10, maybe 15, 20 seconds on each jump. And that's absolutely going to add up over the course of, 90 jumps, basically. This should be our last main sequence. And yeah, it's not my frame rate because let me see, what am I running right now? I can't really see it because it's covered up, but charge. Yeah, oh, you know what? That's another thing. Okay, after my next jump, let me set it. I've actually, because of the graphical work I've been doing, I just realized I've got the game set for 2x super sampling, and I certainly don't need it that high for this. That's probably why we're getting a little bit of chop as well. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Muzalai, Sam. Am I saying that right? Muzalai. Am I getting even close? And yeah, it's definitely a good shakedown. Let's change that real quick, because, as I said, we definitely don't need. Oh, god damn it! Now that window's in the way. Go. Set that back to 1. Yes, I'm sure. Whoop, a little early to plot. Okay, let's see if that gets us a little back normal. Okay, good. I see that most of the folks came over. And no, I generally don't lock my frame rate. I've got a 144 hertz monitor, so I generally leave it just open. And yeah, now I'm getting like 280. I suppose I could lock it down to 60 because I can't stream over 60. Maybe that would help. Yeah, how is the hurricane for those in the path? Has it hit yet? And yeah, Muzalai, I am running the current NVIDIA driver. Okay, let's boost off this one. And now I've actually got to start paying attention because I'm going to be all neutrons at this point. So I'm going to need to be watching my my fuel so that I can stop at each of the neutrons, or before I run out of fuel, and scoop. Oh, let's turn on jet cone boost. There we go. And so now let me get into this, and GPU 2080 Ti. So yeah, the new machine is a i9 10900K, liquid cooled, overclocked at 5.2 gigahertz. I've got 32 megs of 3600 megahertz RAM, a 2080 Ti overclocked to 2.1 gigahertz as well, and it's also liquid cooled. A half a terabyte Samsung NVMe 970 Pro, and a terabyte 970 Evo. Then two 850 Evos that are kind of older SATA SSDs that are rated. That's where I do all my video work. And then a single like 8 terabyte drive just for like extra stuff. I keep all my games on the secondary NVMe drive. God damn it! All right, there's a mistake I just made. I hit the tail of the star too far out, and because of that, I didn't actually get boosted, and now I'm having to waste time flipping back over. So give me a second here. Come on. That's what I get for doing 3 things at once. Yeah, so I'm running actually 2 AIOs. There's a bracket I found recently that NZXT makes that lets you use a CPU AIO on a GPU. It works incredibly slick. It's really easy. So I've got a 360 mil AIO Cooler Master one for my CPU, and then a 240 mil from EVGA for the GPU. Come on. Okay, there's Frameshift Drive supercharged. So, it would have been, I think in the long run, a while back, if I had done just a custom loop, I wouldn't have been much more than I've spent now, maybe a couple $100 more. But since I built it over time, I wound up doing it this way. And yes, I will say it's really interesting. The video that I've been working on for the graphical analysis has been very educational. There's a ton of stuff that I've learned from it. For example, in my opinion, unless you've got, you're running 1080p and you've got a 2080 Ti and you've got frames to spare, there is no reason to run anything but low ambient occlusion. The visual difference in low and high ambient occlusion is so minor, but the frame rate impact is if I remember saying, a 12% difference between the two. So it's a massive difference in terms of, your effective frame rate with a very minor difference in terms of image quality. And I care more about this stuff for VR play. I have the HP Reverb headset, which is, by far the highest resolution headset. It's quite a bit higher than all the others. It's 2160 by 2160 per eye versus 1600 by 12 per eye for all the rest. And so the load to generate that, like I absolutely cannot run Elite and full Ultra in VR and get even 60 frames per second, because I run mine at 60 as opposed to 90. Certainly not 90, but again, with some intelligent setting of the settings, you really can get a great image without needing that huge of a GPU. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Did I have my next route planned? Yeah. Sorry. So I'm trying to do two things at once. What I'm doing on the side here, let's see, where am I jumping to? D89. There we go. I've got the spanch tool open here, and so during the jump, like we're here, we're headed to here, I'll go ahead and copy the next jump, tick it off that I've done it, so that then it's already on my clipboard and ready to go. So as soon as I'm ready to jump, bam, I can go ahead and paste in that jump. Now my next jump is almost certainly, and I might have gone too far already, gonna have to be to a scoopable. So what we'll do is we'll plot out to where we're headed, and then we'll find a scoopable next door. We'll plot to that scoopable instead, scoop, then jump to that neutron we would have gone to, and continue on our way. So hopefully, whoops, that's the wrong one. Whoops, copying the wrong system in. Whoops, I'm getting way behind. It's that one. And see, all of these little things is what would cost you time. So now let's see, can we go, nope. All right, it's going to be quicker to just go to one right next door. Let's go there. And then we'll have to come back, because I wasn't paying attention. Hopefully you guys will forgive me for that. And yeah, Simbar, the point of the video, if you guys have ever seen a Digital Foundry video where they go through and analyze, like, okay, here's what ultra shadows, high, medium, low, and off all look like, and then here's the impact of each of those on frame rate, that's what the video is. So it goes through every single setting. I think I've already edited together the video for about 12 of the 19 settings, and with those 12 of 19, the video is already 16 minutes long, and so for me, that's a fucking anthem. And then there will be a second part 2 for it that explains how to use the various XML files to customize the game even further. Use Dr. Kai's launcher. You can do things like, in graphic settings, you have like the presets for ultra, high, medium, whatever. You can actually customize those and save your own custom versions of them. So we'll talk about all of that. Oh, how long did it take get the Anaconda? I mean, dude, I did it so long ago. You could get an Anaconda today from what, 5 hours, 6 hours into the game, if you just speed farmed basically, for money. Now, for me, when I started 4 years ago, man, how long did it take me to get the Anaconda back then? Months. I'm not a big fan of the Anaconda, so that wasn't like a goal ship for me anyway. But something in the, God, what would you say back then, Aposto? 2-3 month range?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And hell, that might even be optimistic. Hey, Owen from Sweden. We've got some good friends. Some of our founders are from Sweden. Would you recommend boosting them somehow? You know, it depends. Yes, I think the short answer is yes. If I had a good friend that was starting, I would certainly boost them in some way. Take them mining with you. Help bring them to the Discord here. We have guys that go out and do mining expeditions because wing mining is definitely the fastest way. So we've got guys that do wing mining all the time. I think what I would caution you against, though, if you do boost them financially, is make sure that they realize that there's a lot of the game that lets them skip in a lot of ways, and that they really then, as long as they go back and kind of enjoy certain things like the doing the stuff off the mission board, going through the different ships and not just going straight for, an Anaconda right off the bat and then that's it, because you wind up, I think you do yourself a big disservice when you skip that much of it, and I think a lot of people get this impression, well, there's nothing to do, right? When those of us that really know the game just kind of laugh at that because there's so much to do. So I think that making sure that you're not hurting in that way is a very important part of it. Apostle, how would you answer that? Maybe Apostle doesn't realize he's muted, or maybe he's away from his mic. We'll give him a
Sorry,
second.
I'm
Oh,
here.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, if you had a friend starting right now, would you boost them? I think it also, how far you would boost them is another thing. I don't know that I would boost them.
I don't recommend it. I don't know. I think if you give them a little bit of a start, because let's say the only reason to do it is if you're getting them into something that you are actually doing with them.
Yes.
So, like,
Great
if
point.
you're gonna go for a certain purpose, like, hey, I need you to have a vulture, and we're gonna go bounty hunting together, and you get him to build that, and then you guys go do it together. If you boost somebody like that, great. But if you just give someone like millions of credits, that's not helping them. That's hurting them.
It potentially, right? I think you can boost them and it be a great experience, but yeah, like After Hours just made the same point, right? You give them a bunch of credits, they play for a bit, and then 2 weeks later they're done, right? Now the question is, was that the type of player that was going to be done in 2 weeks anyway? It just depends, right? Elite, as we know, is that type of game that if it's your kind of game, dude, it's all you're gonna do. You're just gonna absolutely fall in love with it. But that's not. It's a very niche game, right? There's a lot of people that aren't gonna do that. So it's a very double-edged sword. I think it all depends on how you progress them through the rest of the game. Look, our good friend, one of our staff members here, Commander Metsis, I remember in his first 2 weeks of the game is when 70 Draconis existed. This was years ago. And it was you could make 250 million an hour. And that's when 50 million an hour was a ton. Well, he sat down and ground out 3 billion credits back then. And now 3 years later, he has never once had to do credits ever since. But he still, now he doesn't play the game a lot anyway, just because of his time and stuff. But that certainly didn't ruin the game for him. Right? And damn it, I did it again, not paying attention. I didn't go to refuel, unfortunately. Okay, so Discord is too loud. Okay, gotcha. Hold on, guys. It's probably a little bit of both. I've got my mic not right in my face. So let me turn Discord down just a bit. Okay, let's try that again, guys. If Malakiki. God, am I saying that right? Bennett. I'll just go with Bennett. That's easy. Let me know if that's better. Okay, so again, what I'm trying to do here and failing at is alt-tabbing back and forth very quickly between the Spanch router and game, and pasting in, grabbing the next jump, URL. So like right now, I've already got that plotted. So I'm grabbing my next destination. So as soon as I'm boosted off that neutron, I'm all ready to go. And again, I knew I wasn't going to set any record. Somebody asked a second ago what the times were like. As I've said, I'm not going to be sharing the times because I don't want to discourage people who kind of know they can't make it if you can't do this. I expect the winning time for engineer to be under 2 hours, certainly under that, probably under an hour and 45. But remember, there is second, third place, right? And we are going to publish the whole list of everybody's time, so everybody gets a mention. It's all for bragging rights. And by the way, how's the quality now? Is everything nice and smooth? Have we fixed it? If anybody's having any choppiness or delay anymore, please speak up. I believe we have.
It's not the best for me. Like, it's not choppy, but like it keeps kicking me off of live.
Interesting.
It looks good for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's stable for me. Yeah.
Okay. Good. I mean, there's obviously going to be some variability between people, right? So yep. So now again, now that I've started my jump, I'm going to grab the next system en route. Smooth for me. Okay, good. Thanks for those of you that hung out and we've actually got more viewers now, probably because of that. Thank you guys for following me over and getting all this worked out. My apologies for all of that. And yep, as the posture just pasted in, if you'd like to come chat with us in Discord, if you've got questions and you want to speak with us, looking for a player group to join, guys to hang out with, by all means, come join us in Discord. A little easier for me tonight to answer verbal questions than chat, since I am trying to actually play. So I think looks like 2 jumps is a little less than half a tank, so maybe I'll scoop every 3. Yeah. So Quint, man, you guys have got some great names tonight. Kinkos, maybe that's how I'm saying it, Kinkos Vane. He's stuck in Colonia with only his exploration ship and he doesn't want to make the trip back. What do I do? Well, there's a quick and easy way to get back from Colonia, which is this. You store your current ship that you're in, get in a stock Sidewinder, die, so get the station to kill you, self-destruct, whatever it is, and then don't rebuy that, but rather take the starter Sidewinder, which will spawn you back in the bubble. Then all you have to do is ship your ship back, and bingo, you're back in the bubble without having to fly back. You can get back instantly that way. Now, if you don't have ships in the bubble, you'll have to wait the 62 hours, I think it is, for it to ship back, and it's not cheap. Like, I want to say my Anaconda was, it might have been as much as like 800 million. I mean, it's crazy. We'll look here at the end. It's crazy expensive. So that's absolutely one way to do it. Other than that, you just got to suck it up and fly back. Best way to boost without getting blown up? That's a great question. I've seen a lot of people mentioning this and that have a hard time with it. Here's the way you do it. I see the tails. I'm heading for way out at the tip of the tail. You can see my throttle position on screen, so I'm going nice and easy. I'm going to just graze. I want to get as straight as I can with the tail, get down to almost 0 throttle. As soon as I'm in it, go down to 0 throttle. I'm now going to paste in my next jump. Plot, and now I'm going to go to this scoopable instead, and now I'm ready to go. I charge for my next jump. It's that easy. And yeah, Cranky, realize that's the build I'm running right now. That is not the build that I would actually use for this. I would have given myself a secondary AFMU. I would have given myself a heat sink. I would have to upgrade the thrusters for that, which is why I didn't. Yeah, Pasto?
Sorry, I'm seeing something stupid over here. Never mind, it's okay. Sorry.
Gotcha. By the way, with the Pasto just speaking there, if you guys can let me know if his volume is better now, if our collective volume, if we're balanced. And yeah, Suicide Winder is exactly what we call that. Well, suicide windering really no. Actually, that's not that. Suicide windering is really when you grief somebody by killing them with a sidewinder. So here's what suicide windering is: you get in a sidewinder, you drop your shield, you bang yourself against the station, and damage yourself. Let's say down to 10%. You sit outside the station. A commander comes flying through. You can assume they're going over 100 meters a second, which is the speed limit. And if they're going over 100 meters a second, you collide with each other, and because you're damn near dead anyway, you die. That player has now committed murder, and as such, the station will kill them. That's suicide windering. And yes, it's as douchey as it sounds. It kind of does make you smile a little bit, though, depending on who you get with it. But okay, we're almost certainly, with the number of jumps I've been, going to need to repair here in a second. Let's see. Let me get in the cone first. So again, I'm really light throttle. I'm aiming for the very end of the cone. Line up with it as straight as I can. Ease down into it. As soon as I get in, throttle down. Let's check. We're at 82%, so a couple more jumps and we're going to have to stop and repair. I did start with a premium reload of the AFMU. That works with weapons. Like if your weapons aren't empty, but you sent the premium reload, all your ammo switches to premium, because that will double the repair rate of the AFMU. I've actually never done that, so we're going to see if that works. Oh, and Puggle, it's a total dick move, right? It's a total dick move. You know, depending on who you get in a situation, it can be funny as hell, right? But yeah, it's definitely not the nicest thing. Oh, and that's right. So if somebody joins you in multi-crew, they do, but they only get, I think multi-crew only pays out at 5%. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. It is not very much. So yeah, they make a little bit. Wing pay, if you're doing like trading, wing pay dividends is 15%. So in a lot of ways, wing pay is the better way to boost with somebody. You know, multi-crew is basically just something to do for fun. And okay, there we go. See, I just got a malfunction. So we're going to wait for a second. It should come back up online. Come on. There we go. So back online. So this will start getting worse. I'm hoping that we can get to the next standard class star, and I'll stop and repair there. Yeah, you know, arithmetic, it depends. If you're interdicting somebody that's wanted, you could maybe argue that you running crimes on because they're wanted and you're a bounty hunter is okay. But yeah, I agree. If they're not wanted and you're just grabbing somebody and you grab them because you don't get wanted for interdictions, you grab them, you interdict them, and they shoot at you first, they get wanted, you know, for essentially you instigating it. So yeah, I do agree. I never run crimes on. I mean, it's a good thing to do if you're just a trader, an explorer. You know, I would absolutely run crimes on if that was the type of gameplay that I was into. But for the type of play that I do, I never run with crimes on. But I think I've already spent over 3 billion in rebuys in my time. Did I miss a question? Somebody said just bring a scoop. Extra fuel tank necessary. Yeah, you could bring, some people, absolutely bringing an extra fuel tank is not a bad idea. Again, this is not the optimal build I would recommend for this. So yeah, running an extra fuel tank or two because you have to scoop less or you have to stop less. Now, that said, with a class 7 scoop, I actually would argue that running a what I should have is a heat sink or two, so that actually 2 heat sinks would be perfect, so that I can reload one while I'm using the other, and that way I can jump sooner on standard class stars. You don't really have to worry about with neutrons because you're going to be far enough away by the time you start to charge anyway. But yeah, you absolutely could use an extra fuel tank for sure. And as you see, this is definitely spreadsheet. That's really what it is. Spreadsheet version of Elite. Okay, so now, oh shit. Nope, we don't want to go there. We want to go to a standard class near it. Let's go. Man, it's dry over here. Let's go there instead because I'm low on fuel already. So once we get to this one, we'll scoop, and then after we scoop, you have to shut off your frame shift drive to repair it. So we'll shut down and we'll repair. Fortunately, Aposto is helping me with chat by answering questions. Oh, wait, he's not doing that, is he? And yes, Priolysis.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I know you're busy, dude. I know you got shit going on at home. I know. You absolutely could remote sell it. You obviously wouldn't want to do that if it's an engineered ship. You could strip it down and put all the modules in storage and ship the modules back and sell the hull. You could do it that way too. That's probably not the way that I would do it, but you certainly can.
Did you talk about, extra fuel and
we
how
did.
you can do extra fuel tanks? And then the guy who got those going way far out with people refueling. What was the record for the furthest?
Well, somebody did. I didn't see that. Somebody has done a rescue out at Beagle. Okay, so now we're going to stop and repair. Okay, so for that, we're going to set because of my power things, we're going to set our thrusters to 5. We're going to turn off the frame shift drive, wait for the maintenance unit to come on. And now we're going to go, to repair. And now we just wait. Oh, it is faster this way. Actually, yeah, this isn't too bad at all. And again, I'm having to bounce my power around because I'm so tight for power, which is pretty normal with an exploration ship. You'll notice, I don't even have my distributor turned on. And note there, if you don't know, if you set your distributor, whatever your distributor is set for, like in my case right now, it's set to 240. Whatever that's set for, as soon as if you turn off the distributor, it stays at that setting. So it still works. You just can't change your pips. All right, let's bring that back online. Let's bring our thrusters back online. And come on. There we go. And we're back underway. That didn't take too long, actually. I should have timed it. God, are we already 40 minutes in? I think we are. Didn't I start it at right on 0:30?
Yeah, you did. What's your progress at? Can you take
you know what? I can put this, I tell you what, in the live streaming chat channel in Discord, there's the system I'm jumping to right now. If somebody can figure out for me how far along I am, that'd be great. Just so I don't have to stop and do it. Of course, I guess I could just zoom out on the galaxy map here in just a second. Yeah, I'll do that. Come on. So, yeah, we're not as far as I was hoping. We're probably only, God, we might only just be a quarter of the way, too. I do hope to do it under 2 hours. With all the little problems we've had, God, what did that probably cost me? At least 20 minutes? All the bull crap. So there is a current speed record. There's not a speed record for the route that we're doing, so we picked a very specific route for that reason. So for those that don't know, if Posto can toss that back in, this is for the Colonia Speedrun competition that we're holding right now. It's on at the moment. We started a few days ago. It runs through September 6th. You can win ship skins. You can win Steam gift cards. It's sponsored by myself, Frontier, and Buckyball Racing. Something I've been talking with Alec Turner. Unfortunately, Alec, because he's on UK time, and it's like, what, 2 in the morning over there. He couldn't join me for this. He's going to join for when we do announce the winners. So he's been huge. I should have thanked him at the top of the show. He's been hugely helpful in working out. Like, he and I went back and forth about the various rules and how we wanted to start things and working it all out. So really great guy too. You guys might know him from his somewhat famous or infamous forum threads. He's got, he maintains some of the biggest threads with just all kinds of information in them. And yeah, actually, I'm glad you said that, CW. I need to change my go ahead and refill my AFMU, or at least check it here in just a second, because I did just use it. I didn't look at the number on it, but I think it's got it. It started at 8,100 fuels, whatever you want to call it, units. Jump, jump, jump. Oh yeah, I've still got plenty. And now we're at 97%, so we've got a good ways. So we start taking malfunctions that start slowing us down once we get to below 80%. So once we hit 79%, we'll start getting random ones. Oh yeah, Pasto, could you toss in the Discord for Owen, if you don't mind, if you're listening? And yeah, as Owen said, if you guys would like to come chat with us, by all means, come join us. For those that might come join, I'm watching the live stream chat channel. So if you want to get me a text message, don't DM me, because it's pretty tough to open DMs while I'm streaming. Thank you, Aposto. Aposto, mind if I... Well, I guess I'm going to. Mind if I mention what you went through recently? I'm going to.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean,
yeah, so
it's up to you. We got to be careful for.
Yeah, we won't get into too much about it, but we unfortunately, I wouldn't say almost lost, but pretty fucking close. Our good friend here, Aposto, to COVID. He spent 7 days in the hospital. It was like, God, what was the whole time from when you started feeling bad to better? Was it a month?
Yeah, I would say that I was sick with coughing, fever, staying in bed, fatigue, all of the major symptoms, pretty hard for at least 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Of course, a whole week of that was in the hospital. And then, of course, it was only maybe a week or two now that I've been feeling like good,
Yeah, like back to normal.
So it was like June 27th that I first got sick, and it hit fast and hard. It wasn't like a lot of people get sick and it's a little cold or anything. I had a little bit of a cough in the afternoon, and that evening I had a fever and I felt like I was dying. So that was really fast for me. And then pretty much all of August has been this sickness, really. Yeah. So I would say a good 3 weeks of being like really sick, with 1 week, critical.
Yeah. Okay. So all I can say is social distance and please wear a mask. I don't think we have to like convince our audience to wear a mask and that, science good. But yeah, it's a...
The thing that I'd like to tell everybody is what they, I couldn't believe what the hospital had to do for me, and how much they stressed. The biggest thing is to social distance. So, the mask and all the other things that we do help, but the real defense is just staying away from each other. So if the virus can't spread, that's it.
Right.
You just stop the virus.
So just stay in and play Elite.
Good point. And by the way, guys, again, talking, I wasn't fucking paying attention, and I missed that I needed to go to scoop that time, so we're wasting a little more time here. Easily, I bet you I would be able to save 30 minutes off this. I might actually give it another go just later when I really can plan it all out. Because the guys, as Alex pointed out, the guys that will win this are going to have it planned down to every single jump. They'll have worked out all of the stars they need to stop and scoop in. I mean, yeah, they'll have it nailed. I drive cars fast, but not so much this kind of thing. Yeah, not many flat earthers in space games. Certainly not in Elite, I wouldn't think, right? Not to be political here, but one of the things I keep wanting to ask, like, anti-masker people is, the whole, like, well, it's my right to not wear a mask. Well, you wear a shirt and shoes when you go out in public. Why is the mask any different? mean, we wear shirt and shirts, A, because I don't want to see you with your shirt off, but B, because of public health concerns, right? So. Margiato says, if I get your name right, fuck masks. I would wear a hazmat suit if I could.
I totally would. I think it would be fun to go to the supermarket in a hazmat suit anyway. I got to do that once. Like, I mean, you know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
just think it would be funny.
And somebody I saw in the chat a little bit back, forgive me, I didn't notice who, said something I was making nervous about hitting the exclusion zone. Don't worry, I've done, oh my God, I've probably done 1,000 neutron jumps, and I think I've hit it once. In fact, I've actually survived it before and able to get out. When I shot the video for neutrons, I dropped into one and I was able to, while I was bouncing around, I was able to plot for highway. And just as I got lined up, I boosted and I just got lucky and got right with it and was able to jump. Not to be political, but why do you wear clothes? Nice Shadow Ant. And you're right, CW. He says people in the 80s did the same thing about seatbelts. Yep. Seatbelts are maybe, I would argue, a little different in that you really are, for the most part, just affecting yourself. You could argue, and this is the argument, that, you're affecting the healthcare system and that, you don't need care and, if you get injured, you're going to cost the system, blah, blah, blah. And I think that is a very valid argument, but I think that is different from, you're going to give me a disease that's going to fucking kill me and has killed 175,000 of us.
I think wearing shoes is probably the closest thing as far as being, places refuse service, right? So,
sure.
I mean, that's been that way since I was
ever.
born.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. You have to wear shoes to go to Circle K or to a store. Like if you go barefoot, they'll ask you to leave or ask you to put shoes on.
Yep.
They're doing that for public health
reasons.
right?
Absolutely.
So germs and disease and to protect yourself and others. So
absolutely.
It's the best, I think it's the closest thing to wearing. But I get a little bit confused when everyone says that it's degrading or somehow infringing on your rights. I don't get it.
Well, first of all, you don't have rights in a private establishment anyway, right? This whole notion
a dress
of
code.
Right, exactly, right. Let's see those one. Xander just said he wonders how many people the fuel rats will have to rescue over the course of this challenge. I would honestly say none, because if you screw up and you need the fuel rats to rescue you, your run is screwed. Most people would probably just self-destruct and go back to the beginning, but maybe some. I mean, they've done rescues all the way out to Beagle before. Patrick says his company's safety person was a former nuclear cleanup guy in the Army, and he was in full kit for the start of COVID. That's great. Yeah. By the way, FaZe, you remember when you asked me at the beginning of the stream if I was going to be honking along the way? Yeah, I haven't honked once. I keep forgetting it.
I'm doing my run with a bit of honking, and
yeah,
it's fun. Maybe for the new viewers, why are you doing this? What would you find in Colonia if you've never been?
Yeah. Great topic. So one of the things is it's just exceptionally beautiful. You'll notice as we start getting closer, probably here in about the next half hour or so, you'll see that the star field is going to start getting denser and denser and denser, and it just becomes beautiful once you get, even Colonia is still not, I mean, it's closer to the core, so it's denser, but as you get to the core, the night sky is just this, it's just so bright, and there's just dots and stars everywhere, right? So that's just really pretty. There's a lot of really pretty stuff in the Colonia region just in general, in terms of, just, it's in a nebula, it's in a purple nebula. There's lots of very pretty, there's a very beautiful, in fact, I used footage of it in the video for the competition. There's a green gas giant, there's several of these that are known, which is literally this lime green gorgeous, like bright green gas giant. You just kind of have to see it. Again, it's at the tail end of that video. So there's just a lot of really pretty stuff out there like that. And there's enough. There's 4 engineers out there now. There's I think you can get not all the ships out there, but I think you can now in various stations buy all the modules. So you really can. There's a material trader out there, so you can live in the region if you want. At one point, some of the lore was that we would be in that region, you know, if you wanted to escape the Thargoids, right? You know, they're attacking the bubble, well, go out to the Colonia region and you're safe from the Thargoids, that kind of stuff. What phase, are there other stuff that you would toss into that?
No, I think like a lot of players, I'm headed there right now for the first time to unlock engineers and to take in the sites, and then maybe get some exploration data.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no harm in putting the time to go visit and then come back when you need to.
Yeah, you know, and again, if you just get, you know, you want to be back in the bubble quickly, using the you know, Sidewinder method we talked about earlier, get you back instantly. That's what I did. In fact, if you're going out there and it's your first time and you don't have the engineers unlocked, it's linked in the Colonia video, in the speedrun video. I've also got a video that explains how to unlock all 4 of them in a single trip. So all the main thing about the Colonia engineers is planning ahead. So as long as you've done some work ahead of time, you're taking your osmium with you, you've got, you know, cargo racks and everything, you can do all of that. I remember I did the flight from the bubble to collected what I needed in the bubble, including mining, flew out to Colonia, unlocked all the engineers, and was back home using the Sidewinder method in about 4.5 hours. Well, 4.5 hours in elite time is next to nothing. So to be able to then have those 4 engineers, and you might ask, well, why do I really care? Well, one of the engineers out there is the only one that does grade 4 shield cell banks. So that's, you know, a lot of us PvPers want grade 4 rapid cell banks. So that's one reason. And then to have 3 additional pinned blueprints is rather convenient. So those are really the main reasons to go unlock them. You do have to have some, I can't remember the exact prerequisites of the engineers in the bubble, but it's not very much. You know, you would almost certainly have the engineers you need unlocked before you'd even probably think about going to Colonia. The biggest thing, and there's 2 things I would say to everybody listening if you haven't done. Number 1, if you're not pledged to a power play faction, pledge now. Pledge next time you're playing. You're just wasting time. It takes a month to get each of the power play modules. You don't have to do anything for about 3 weeks from after you pledge. So all you have to do is go to your right panel on the home screen, choose Galactic Powers. If you've got the credits, say 500 million, if you're going to buy a decent selection of them, pledge to Ashley Duvall first. She's the hot blue-headed chick. She'll give you prismatic shields. If you don't have 500 million and you're not going to have 500 million in the next month, I probably would do Leon Ree. He does pack hound missiles. I just find pack hounds fun to use. So those are, you know, but if you're not pledged to somebody, pick somebody and get pledged now. Again, you're just wasting time. Number 2 is if you've got 20 hours in the game and you've got a Diamondback Explorer and you haven't unlocked the Guardian frameshift drive, go do that next. It adds 10 light years, roughly, there's different sizes, but 10 light years of jump range to every ship you own on top of whatever its current range is, without any other engineering, without having to do anything else. If you don't have it, you absolutely want it. It benefits everybody. We all have to jump, so having that is great. Maybe I'm just seeing a little hot in the comments. Let's chill, guys, maybe. I don't know what's going on, but yes, okay, look, if somebody's anti-masker, we're not going to get into politics in here, right? I probably shouldn't have brought it up in the first place, but I'm not about to let that kind of conversation happen in the chat. Aposto, if you could maybe stay on top of that. But if that's the conversation, I'd like to ask it stops now.
You know, so far, guys, it's just now starting to. But I would say let's steer away from the conversation now at that point.
Yeah, and if somebody's look, this whole like, the narrative on Corona is fake. We're not going to have that bullshit in my chat. Sorry.
I was just
'Cause
clicking on that.
absolutely it is not. So
Yeah.
sorry, but
Yeah.
anybody posting that stuff on my stream is going to get muted from my channel, and they just did. Because
We've got
As
two really
I-
quick questions
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, please change the subject for us.
You've done a video on superpowers and pledging, but why should you do it in the first place? And why do you need to pledge to a single person? What does that look like?
Turning you down a bit because you're super loud for me, FaZe.
Yeah.
So the short version is there are 12 power play modules that you can only get from being pledged. The Prismatic Shields are one. So Prismatic Shields are basically like, let's say you have a class 6 slot. A class 6 prismatic is roughly the same stats as a class 7 standard shield, but it fits in a class 6 slot, right? So for certain ships, certain tasks, they're great. Then the rest of the weapons, a lot of them, some of them are great and fun. The pack hounds are fun. Enforcer cannon, multi cannons are great. The advanced plasma accelerators, let's see, Imperial Hammer rails, pacifier frags, all are great. The mining lance gets a lot of hate because they bill it as a weapon when that's not what it should be billed as. It's a mining laser that's got, I might be wrong, 2 kilometers of range, where a standard is 500 meters. So that's a very big difference and really, really helpful if you're doing a lot of mining. There are some total ship weapons. God damn it, I wasn't paying attention again. There's some total shit ones like the Retributor beam laser, the pulse disruptor. Some of those are just absolutely worthless. And as you said, FaZe, I've got a video that covers all of those weapons and another video that covers how to earn the merits when you want to unlock it. So they're just kind of nice to haves is a simple way to say it. None of them are, I'd say the only one you kind of gotta have would be the prismatics if you're going to get into PvP and you're going to be flying stuff like an FDL or stuff like you wouldn't want to, my opinion, a Corvette for PvP, but the Mamba is a great prismatic ship. So I run prismatics on all my trade ships and all my mining ships, all my exploration ships. I mean, not exploration, but taxis.
We've got a question. Do you lose the item if you change pledges?
That's another good one. Thank you. So no. So you can keep it if you buy it and then store it, but you can only buy it during the time that you are pledged and that you have earned those merits. So essentially, once you've unlocked it, you've got 1 week to buy it before you can't buy it anymore. But anything you've bought, you get to keep. So generally, I would recommend for the weapons that you buy 6 of them and just store them. Depends on the weapon. You might buy more, maybe a little bit less. For prismatics, that's another hard one to answer. Generally, I would say you're going to want like 1 class 8, 1 class 7, 3 class 6s, 3 class 5s, 2 class 4s, 2 class 3s, and maybe a class 2 and a class 1, right? Because again, in the future, when you buy a new ship and you want to toss a prismatic on it, you're going to need to have that, stored from when you did it the first time. Yeah, and FaZe, I'm still getting a fair bit of echoing from you at times. It wasn't earlier, so I'm not sure if you changed something or not. I mean, it's not horrible, but
I think that might be just because I have the stream up. I bet. I'll need to.
So yeah, great question. So that's why I say that, there's no reason to not be. The only slight negative is when let's say you're pledged to Ashley Duvall and you fly into a Leon Reese system, it will show in your bottom right panel, hostile. Oh my God, I'm hostile. What does that mean? Well, all it means is if somebody, again, let's say you jump to Leon Reese space and I'm pledged to Leon Reese, I can now attack you in Leon Reese space without me getting wanted, but if you fire back at me, you will get wanted. So it used to be when we had community goals and let's say a community goals in a Leon Reese system, that guys would just quickly pledge to Leon Reese. That way, anybody that's pledged to another power, if you're not pledged, this doesn't work, but anybody pledged to another power, you could attack them without impunity, right? Or with impunity. But that is very, very rare that would happen anyway. So there is next to no negative or no reason to not do it.
Pesby's asking, can't you just change pledges to get the parts you need?
Just change pledges. Well, yeah, I mean, it takes 1 month to get them. That's the issue, right? So that's why, there's 12 modules. So theoretically, it would take you a year to get all of them. Now, easily 4, maybe 6 of them suck, so you probably wouldn't care. But if you went through the whole loop and let's say you only did 6 of them, well, let's say you're 2 weeks into pledge for pack hounds and you decide, shit, I need another prismatic. Well, do you wait 2 weeks and then another 4 weeks, or do you just stop there, right? So that's why I generally would suggest, once you've unlocked them, buying, all you're ever going to need.
Owen Jones says, I love your tutorials, but I messed up one bit, for example, running out of ammo on a Guardian site. Maybe you want to talk about synthesis and how that might help exploration as well.
Yeah. Synthesis is a great thing to know, and I have a video that explains it fully. But essentially, what synthesis lets you do is reload. I probably can't bring it up right. Yeah. So all of these items. Oh, let me get lined up before I show that. All of the items on the synthesis page, which I'll show quickly, all of these you can reload. So heat sinks, AFMU, chaff, all of your weapons, the SRV fuel, SRV ammo for it, all of those things can be rearmed. You have standard synthesis, and then you have, premium, and what's the one in the middle? I can't remember the fucking name of it, but there's 3 levels that give you different bonuses. For example, if you do a premium AFMU synth, you get double the repair rate. If you do weapons and you do premium synth, you get 30% extra damage. So if you're going for a Thargoid, if you're going for that conflict zone where you're just starting to malfunction, so we'll stop at our, in fact, you know what, let's go ahead and go to a scoopable. If you're having trouble with that one NPC, that one ship, that one area, well, send the premium reload and bam, you've got 30% more damage on all your weapons. Now that is outlawed in consensual PvP for obvious reasons. But yeah, so if you're doing things like, what's a big one with the SRV where you run out of ammo? Certainly, potentially the Guardian stuff, unlocking the FSD booster, you might run out doing that. If you go out to farm the crystal shard sites, you might run out of ammo. So having the ability to synth, ammo reloads or fuel reloads for the SRV, and I think, give me a second to get to a spot where I can show it. The requirements for those are actually really low. So, okay, it doesn't show me because I'm not in the SRV, but it's going to be like, nickel and copper or carbon. I mean, it's going to be very, very simple materials for the standard stuff. The premium reloads can get rather expensive, especially the Guardian stuff. If you're doing the Guardian Gauss cannon is, you've got to use I can't remember, technology components and stuff like that you can only get out at the Guardian sites. Somebody asked earlier, and I don't want to get into it too much because we could talk about this the rest of the night. What are my thoughts on Odyssey? In short, I don't know yet. I'm trying to have an open mind with it. I will say, in general, I have zero interest in space legs. I don't play Elite so I can walk around. I play Elite so I can fly fucking spaceships. Why do I want to walk around? If I'm going to play a first-person shooter, I'll go play a good first-person shooter. That said, No Man's Sky has done what I would consider a really good job with space legs. Again, it's not my kind of play style, but they have, so I think it can be done right. I don't know how much confidence I have that Frontier will get it right. As I put in my video on the sub, oh shit, I was gonna repair back there. Yeah, let's go ahead and repair. Let me get away from this thing. I'll just go ahead and repair. Actually, I take that back. We can probably make a few more jumps. It might not be that obnoxious. So I worry more about the way they're going to handle. Whoops, don't want to go there. How they're going to handle VR support. In that we don't have VR support. What the hell? Which star am I going to? Hold on a sec, guys. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. Okay. And so I'm worried that it's going to be, you want to get out and walk around. It's, exit to desktop from Horizons and then log into Odyssey, walk around, do whatever you want on a planet, then exit, log back into Horizons to get back in VR. And I've said it already. I'm not going to go all the way to say I'm going to delete my account, but if that's the case, I might be done with Elite because I'm not going to deal with that shit. If there's a way to transition between just 3D, VR and back to 2D to go to foot, okay, I can deal with that. And my other big concern is that these beautiful environments that we've seen so far, with the atmospheres and the beautiful sunsets and all that kind of stuff, if we can't fly our ships through those atmospheres in VR, that also might be game ending for me, right? Because the atmospheric planets I've wanted for a long time, and those look beautiful. Space legs, I could absolutely care less. Again, I don't play Elite to walk around. I play Elite because because of the flight mechanics and everything around that in VR. Whoops, did not actually plot. Oh shit. Turned off jet cone boost somehow. There we go. Okay, one more jump after this, then we'll stop and repair.
X, it seems like your experience of Elite Dangerous, and certainly a lot of people in the squadron, is centered on VR. How big is the difference from a monitor to VR?
We started this at the top of the show. I would say, simply put, Elite in 2D is a very pretty space game, great flight mechanics, that kind of stuff. And I would still play it. But Elite in VR, you are flying a fucking spaceship. It is absolutely that big of a difference, right? It is not a game. It is not cute. It is not like just this weird stuff. You are sitting in the cockpit flying a spaceship. The scale of everything, the perspective of everything is just incredible. Like, you have no idea like how big Coriolis stations are and things like that, how big a star is the first time you drop out of hyperspace at a star. It's an unbelievable experience when compared to playing the game in 2D. Before I started my channel, I played in VR 90% of the time. Okay, now it's, probably 30% because I do so much for the channel. But if I'm doing combat, there's nothing like combat in VR. The ability to look up and over your head and to the sides and track your target. I mean, again, you are flying a spaceship. You are not playing a video game. I know Aposto's VR player. There's maybe some others here in the channel and in chat that would agree with me. It is just that amazing of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I've said it before too. It is like flying a spaceship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it because on your screen you're flying a spaceship too. But yeah, it's a really great space game. But when you get into VR, you're able to look around. You're able to like move your head forward and really get close to things and look at them. Like I feel like I could use the cappuccino machine that's in the Crate Mark II, right?
Absolutely.
It's very different.
Yep. Somebody asked, how is using the HOTUS in VR? Totally fine, right? For the most part, you're going to memorize your HOTUS button layout and everything anyway. You could fly keyboard and mouse in VR, but for me, HOTUS VR support, it's all about, as Yamik says, the immersion.
I was just saying that. I said it on mute. and the situational awareness, right?
There you go.
It's like not having to look at it. Doesn't matter if you have a 30-inch screen, a 40-inch screen, a 24-inch screen. Then that whole world is looking at a 24-inch window. With VR, you're not looking through a window. You're in the situation. You're there inside of the game, and that point of view is just pretty awesome.
Can't be beat, right? I would argue it's less and less because some other games are coming out that are great, but it is one of, if not the best VR experience, period, right? No Man's Sky is really fantastic with VR. They did a great job with the support. Being able to pilot their mech and their various ground vehicles and all that kind of stuff is really cool. What keeps me away from No Man's Sky is the, arcade, I don't know if I'd call it a flight model, right? Is just how awful the flight is in No Man's Sky. If I could take a Crate Mark II and drop it in No Man's Sky, I'd be making No Man's Sky videos. Right? If Star Citizen had VR support, I'd be making Star Citizen videos. It really is VR that over the years has kept me in Elite. It really is. If you've got a cell phone and you get a Google Cardboard. I've got a video on how to set up RiftCat. In fact, he left Spartacus, one of our guys, set it up recently just to check it out. I wouldn't really say you're going to be able to play that way, but it's a great way to experience it, to see what it's like, to get a taster for it, to know, is this something that I want to do? And I keep forgetting to, I'm going to go ahead and do it now because I keep forgetting to stop and repair. I'm just going to get away from this thing and go ahead and do it now. What was I going to say? Oh, and then let me do this, and we'll talk about my 3 favorite VR headsets and the ones that I would recommend. Okay, thrusters to 5, frame shift drive off. Get that turned on. Yeah, we went pretty far that time. So in my opinion, there are 3 headsets to consider today. There is, on the budget side, the Oculus Quest. Big fan of the Quest. I love the physical design of it. It's nice and light, a little front heavy, but not terribly. I don't mind it at all. It's got a great image quality, and all of that, and like the Index and the Rift S, and all of these are in the same class of resolution. So screen door effect is good. It's still there, but it's pretty minimal. Great thing about the Quest is you've got, you can move anywhere, right? You've got full room scale across, anything you would want to do, where then if you want to play something like Elite in VR, you just plug into your computer, and bam, now you're playing in VR, right? Playing PC games. They're $400 for the money. It's absolutely my favorite of those. I will admit I am not a fan at all of the Rift S. I think the Rift S, honestly, is pretty terrible. I think the problem was, for those that don't know, Lenovo built the Rift S for Oculus. What am I doing? Hold on. Damn it. Why isn't it plotting me? What the hell? Hold on, guys. Whoops, I keep copying the wrong one, that's why. No, it's not that one. Sorry, I got out of sorts here as I was... Oh, it's gotta be... Oh, wait a minute, I'm at the goddamn star. What am I doing? Forgot, I thought I was at a scoopable as I did this, but I'm not. There we go. So I'm not a fan of the Rift S at all. It's decent build quality. I don't like the physical design of it. It's actually lower resolution than the others. It's lower refresh rate. I think, honestly, I think the only reason people buy the Rift S is because of the Oculus name. They think it's the next one. It's Rift S. I should get this one. In my opinion, the Quest is absolutely the better choice, and I think the reason they had Lenovo build it is they were working on the Quest, realized, oh shit, we're not going to get this out for a while, we need to get something else. Hey Lenovo, you've got a headset coming out, why don't we just co-brand yours as the new Rift instead? So next, I would say, is the Index. If budget is not a concern and you care more about standing and room scale games, I think the Index is a great choice. It's obviously by far got the best controllers of all of them, because you've got the finger tracking with the knuckles. You can strap them to your hands. You've got lighthouse-based tracking for the knuckles, so they're not dependent on the camera on the headset. So I think there's a lot to like about the Index. What is the full Index setup? $1,000 with one base station? Or is that two? Just one?
2 base stations.
2 base stations, okay. So you're talking $1,000 for that setup, where my absolute favorite setup all around, even in my opinion above the Index, is the HP Reverb, or now the forthcoming G2. So the G2 is supposed to be out, I was told by HP, some point in early to late September. So I'm hoping that that's still the case. It is by far the highest resolution. So all other headsets, other than the Pimaxes, which are kind of a beast all of themselves, that's a different subject. I'm not a big fan of the Pimaxes either, for build quality reasons, a lot of stuff, which we'll talk about later. But all of the other headsets are roughly 650 PPI, or pixels per inch, where the Reverb, and now the G2, is 1100 PPI. So it's really that huge of a difference in terms of pixel density, which translates to all the other headsets have some level of screen door effect. some are better than others. The Index is probably arguably one of the best at that, but there is still screen door effect there, where with the Reverb and the forthcoming G2, there is none. It's literally like looking at a monitor. In fact, the G2 is switching to an RGB subpixel arrangement, which you don't get a higher pixel count, but because of that, you're effectively lowering the screen door effect even further. And I'm told by the guys at HP that yes, it is noticeably clearer and the lenses are noticeably better. So it's just kind of better all around. And that's what I have. I have the HP Reverb. Full disclosure, HP gave it to me. So, but not sponsored or anything. I mean, but they did give me mine. Even if they hadn't given it to me and I had bought one myself, it's absolutely the one that I would have bought. It's absolutely the one and at this point, I've either owned or tried 17 different headsets. So I've been through basically all of them. The only major one that I've not had my hands on is the Index. I couldn't get, I'm too tiny to get Valve to send me one, and you can't buy one off Amazon and return it. So that's the one I haven't tried.
So the Index is the best one by far, for sure.
Nice.
The only one you haven't tried.
Exactly, right. And I know there's a lot to like about it, right? It's just, I think if you're going to play primarily seated, and I'm 100, other than the few times I play Vader Immortal on my Quest, I'm 95% seated. So I don't care about the room scale. The tracking is completely fine in the Reverb. And now the new G2 is going to have 4 cameras instead of just the 2. So given that...
But you are making one assumption, right? And that is if you have the rig to handle it.
Oh, sure. Right. That is
an Index or something with a smaller PPI,
sure.
Running a 27 Super or something like that could go... do it. You need a pretty... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm waiting for the new G2.
Yep. No, he's absolutely right.
There is a reason to buy the other ones.
Yep. Well, and I think there's more reasons than just that, right? But that's a great thing to point out. In fact, that's why the Pimaxes, I think, there's 2 issues with the Pimax headsets, in my opinion. One, the build quality, it's not terrible. It's not, and I have had one of those. It's not nearly as bad as I expected it to be, but the build quality is not great. The software is horrible. You don't care too much, I guess, once you're actually playing, but it's really bad. But the nice things are, I gotta admit, the field of view, the 200-degree field of view, it's pretty fucking epic. Like, for example, if you're sitting in the Crate Mark II or the Crate Phantom, the 2 medium hard points that are at your left and right hanging there, you can see them without turning your head. The field of view is so wide. And it's a one-trick pony, but goddamn is it a trick. And it's really impressive. The problem is you're now literally rendering double the amount of pixels and information. So the performance impact on the GPU is massive. So on my 2080 Ti on the Pimax, I had to run at damn near low settings in Elite to get even I think I ran it at 72 frames a second, or 72 hertz. Even to get 72, I had to run it really, really low settings, and you have screen door effects still, right? So if your number one thing is field of view, you don't care so much about image quality, you're going to buy a 3090 or a couple years from now a 4090, and that's when this is a different conversation. And god damn it, I didn't pay attention to fuel again. I need to stop talking so damn much. If that's your goals, the Pimax is going to be awesome. And this is the primary reason that the major companies have not gone to that wide field of view yet. Like the Index is supposed to be 130? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. It is a little bit wider.
I think it's only 113 actually.
Oh, somebody double check that. I thought it was higher than that, but regardless, that's why nobody's gone to 160 and 200 is because of that performance impact. I think 2 GPUs, like when we get to the 4000 series GPUs, we're basically there at that point in terms of being able to have the GPU to run ultra settings, 90 frames, 90 hertz, with that size of a render that you need to have.
Well, we got to get the developers to actually start supporting those kinds of screens too, right? Because some games do, some games don't. So sometimes the field of view is like that, the old stretch the rectangle TV to the stretching 4x5 to 16:9.
Fortunately,
but when it works, it's pretty nice.
I think No Man's Sky supports it. I know Elite does, right? So Elite supports it correctly. And again, if number one on your list is field of view, and for me, I would say it's number 3. So for me, screen door effect, absolutely number 1. It removes the immersion for me completely. The difference between having an old headset with screen door and then the reverb and then the forthcoming G2 with no screen door, the difference is massive for me personally. That's just my biggest beef. Number 2 are the God rays, and those have not been fully removed in the latest gen headsets, but they're practically gone. I barely notice them in the reverb. I'm told the lenses on the G2 are even better about getting rid of God rays. So that's number 2. And then for me, the field of view is third. It's a big third because, once we've got 200-degree field of view, ultra crisp, 1100 or higher PPI, and essentially no God rays. I mean, I'm not going to be silly and say we're in the Matrix, but we're in the Matrix. And again, I haven't been able to really pay attention to chat at all. FaZe, thank you, by the way, for doing Aposto's job for him. If you're seeing questions and stuff that I'm missing, that was awesome that you were chiming in with them. IMAX was like, wait a minute, if you're saying Rift S, great. I think you've got your icon backwards there, buddy, because it looks like you've got Rift S equals better than the reverb. I think you mean that the other way around. I was going to say you should come join us in voice, but you are in voice. Evening, IMAX. How are you? Maybe he can't speak. I'm in the voice. I'm in the live streaming chat channel, IMAX, if it's easier to reply to me there.
So X, back at the topic at hand, I'm also doing my run to Colonia and using the plotter, but it's just plotting jumps between the neutron stars. I essentially have to drop out and select my own fuel stars once in a while.
Wait, say that again? Sorry, I was reading something else. I missed you.
I'm also using the neutron plotter to get to Colonia.
Yeah.
And it's basically just plotting me back to back through the neutron superhighway.
That's right.
But I have to jump out and pick my own, I guess, KGB foam star to refuel.
Yeah, exactly. So what I would be doing if I was not talking so much and paying more attention is just keep watching your fuel gauge, and when you're down to in the 1/3 full range, plot to the neutron, but then pick a scoopable right next to it, jump there, scoop, jump to the neutron right next door, and then continue on your path.
Okay. Yeah. So do the little zigzag.
Yep. So that's exactly how I'm doing it, right? So like, for example, let's say I need to scoop now. The star I'm plotted to instead, let's plot to this one. And I've got my galaxy map filtered by scoopables so that I'm and I've got scoopables and whatever the last one is, non-sequence, whatever they call it, to show the neutrons as well. Oh, Dave says MS 2020 is so disappointing. Wow, I could not disagree more. What do you find disappointing about it? I mean, other than maybe frame rate issues, which I don't necessarily mind because I actually kind of like that it's essentially the new generation Crisis, because it's going to be a couple generations of GPU before we're playing that in 4K Ultra, but I find it absolutely incredible. Curious if anybody in chat has been in voice chat has been disappointed by it.
Hope you don't mind, but friendly reminder to grab fuel here.
Is this the one I need fuel? Okay, thank you, and I don't mind a bit.
No problem.
Jump to this one, and yes, I sure do. Thank you for noticing, because I absolutely would not have. Yeah, and Laserduck, that's why we broke console. He's saying that doing this on console without copy paste is annoying, and that's exactly why we did a separate competition for console players, so that you didn't have to compete with us able to do this. I don't know that I'd go with Riley. Riley said MS 2020 is the greatest thing ever created on this earth. It runs low medium on his laptop's GTX 960M. That's not bad. What? I'm assuming 1080p. Okay, let's plot back to that. Where we're gonna go. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so by all means, whoever just jumped in and saved my ass, feel free. If you notice again. I knew this was going to be a challenge, you know, like when we did the elite rank speed run a long time ago. I think the time I set was like 11:45, and the winning time was 7 hours 5 minutes. So, and I didn't think we'd get it that low. I knew I could have gotten mine under 9, but I didn't think I'd get that low.
Are you trying to go for like a personal best here for how fast to get to Colonia? Or are you trying to like actually set like the record for the challenge?
No. So this is so for me. I mean, assuming, just to be clear, because folks might not know, this is technically for the speedrun competition that I'm hosting right now with Frontier and Buckyball. So for me, since I can't win it, since it's, you know, that'd be pretty douchey, my own competition. I'm just doing it to kind of play along and, you know, encourage others and set my own time, and kind of maybe set the first public time. I guarantee you that some of the times that have been submitted already will be faster than what I do tonight, because what am I, an hour and a half? I'm just about to hit an hour and a half exactly, and I don't think anybody's beaten that yet. But yeah, just I've never done and timed my own speed run out there. In fact, I think one night I did do this as quickly as I could, just watching a movie by myself, and I'm sure that time was faster than tonight because I made a lot less mistakes that night that I'm making right now. But yeah, just to kind of play along and, you know, encourage others to, you know, see how it's done, talk about it. I mean, you know, the whole shtick of my channel is to teach. So, you know, if folks are interested, it's like, okay. And I thought about this, it might be a little late. I probably should have done it right when I did the competition announcement, is put out a video on here's how to do it, right? Like, here's the techniques the fast guys are going to use. Here's what you want to use, you know, here's how you want to do the whole thing. But I figured this is something to let folks figure out for themselves.
Yeah, cool.
Trying to catch up on question about, I don't know if Otterbob is asking about pedals with Elite or just Flight Sim. As long as you've got Twist, you're fine, because you're gonna need something for yaw. Personally, I don't like Twist on stick. I honestly can't stand it. But I've had pedals the 4 years I've been playing Elite, and before that with other flight sims. So I'm definitely a pedal fan. Oh, goody! Hey, it's one of the neutrons that's on cocaine and Adderall at the same time. I can't stand these things. It's like you wonder if these things look anything like this in reality, right? You know, 1,000 years from now, somebody look back playing this game. That's not what a neutron looks like. I do really wish they would update black holes. Now that we actually know what a black hole looks like, I really, really wish they would update black holes. Those that haven't been to a black hole, they're cool. You should definitely go see one, but they're kind of anticlimactic. The ones in the core can be pretty damn cool, like Sag, because it's there's so many stars around it. You get the really cool like warping effect of everything. Yeah, and I think you're right, Riley. He says once you've used pedals, it's one of those things you can't go back from, and I think you're exactly right. And yeah, somebody asked about rank, and so yeah, no, you can't lose rank. Only your reputation with a faction that can go down, but rank is like rank with the Federation, the Empire, and Alliance now. Actually, there isn't Alliance rank, right? Oh my God, brain fart. Okay, now I got a scoop. But yeah, no way to lose rank. The only way would be account reset or moving to another platform. If you move from, like, say, console to PC or PC to console, I believe they will still transfer your credits. It used to be damn near your whole account. Now I think it's just credits. So in that case, you would have to start over, but at least you can get your credits. Another random thing for those that might not know, you can change your commander name, supposedly only once, but they might be generous as long as you're not doing it all the time. But they will change your commander name for you if you picked a commander name when you were a kid, now you hate it.
Yeah, they actually changed mine twice because I tried to change it to my current name, Newton the Newt, because my previous one actually had Commander in the name, so it was
Yeah, okay,
Commander Archer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was kind of funny. But then yeah, I changed it and then I misspelled my name and then I asked for another one and they allowed me to change it again to the correctly spelled one. So that was pretty funny. Great customer support, in my opinion.
And yeah, Gabriel, I'll go through that since we've got some late folks here. He asked, how the heck are you getting your next route? Well, I am using the Neutron router from Spanch. Whoops, plotted a little early, going to take some damage. I'm using the Neutron router, which is this little tool right here, where you put in your start and destination, and it plots out all the Neutron jumps for you. And that's how I'm doing it. And so I'm copy and pasting those back and forth. In fact, let me route from where we are now and see how far we have to go. Okay, let me go this one and I'll tell you. We've got 26 jumps left. So it looks like I won't clock under 2 hours. That's what I would guess. I was hoping to beat 2 hours personally.
What do you think will end up being the fastest time for this competition? Like your best estimate?
I think somebody might break an hour and a half. I think I've been told the current kind of unofficial record, and I'm not exactly sure what system they started in. It might have actually even been Jackson's Lighthouse to start with a boost. I've been told an hour 18. I find that a little hard to believe, but I have been told that.
Sorry, I am here. I heard you call my name.
Oh, hey, Max, how are you, buddy?
Not too bad. Couldn't jump in quick enough. I had
No
to
worries.
reconfigure my audio stuff, and I'm in VR meetings, so I can't talk about everything publicly. So sorry,
No
but I am
worries.
here. And
No
thanks. It was a great video.
You gonna do the competition? Is that up your alley?
Dude, if I had the bloody time.
I was gonna say, do you have 2 hours to do the competition, or maybe 3 if you're new at it, and go build a ship and unlock that, and right?
No, I've got meetings till 10 o'clock my time, Mountain Time. So
Yeah.
I'm just jumping in because I have a few minutes break. So
Yeah, well, it's nice to hear from you. We haven't chatted in quite a while, so.
likewise, man. It was good. Again, it was good to sit and watch your video and jumping around. And God, I'm just so jealous. I wish I had the time.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that. We were joking that the next one that I'm doing you weren't here for it earlier, I don't think, but I'm doing a very in-depth graphical analysis. So like literally every setting with every option, what their impact on performance is, what it looks like visually, so you can see all the differences. It's already 16 minutes long, and I think it's probably going to top 20. I don't think it's going to hit 25.
That sounds awesome. I think that's one of
yeah.
the videos that really need to be put out for everyone to see.
You know what? It's literally been on my to-do list since the day I started the channel. And I've always known it was going to be a lot of work, but I've probably got 40 hours in it already, and I've probably got another... I don't know that it's another 20, but there's a lot more to do in it. Because some of the settings are damn near impossible for me to figure out the visual differences in them. I mean, like, I just absolutely have not been able to figure out some of them. Like, I'd sit there and stare at it back and forth and screenshot this and AB them and try to figure out, like, what were some of them I couldn't figure out. Actually, you know what? At the end, I'll pull up my list here in a second, because if you guys have any thoughts, I would love to hear it. The ones that I can't figure out are... environment quality, I cannot fucking figure out what that is. Texture quality handles the textures for our ships and things like that. I thought environment quality was maybe like the star field or stars themselves, but again, I've A-B'd those as much as I can. I can't find any difference in environment quality. I can't find anywhere to demonstrate depth of field. Material quality, same thing. I can't figure out where the fuck material quality is. I did read this morning that apparently volumetric lighting is only used for the fog at like Thargoid bases and such. So I haven't filmed that yet, but I'm gonna head to one of those and see if that turns out to be true. The terrain quality, terrain LOD blending, and terrain work, those have all been next to impossible to find a way to visually demonstrate that these are what they look like. So for those, if you guys have any ideas, can actually, show me an A-B difference, I would be forever grateful and include you in the thanks on the forthcoming video, because I just can't find those. Also, just quickly to point out, earlier we were talking about why to go to Colonia. If you guys can notice how much prettier the star field is starting to get. Just hold on, I'll do it on the next jump. I'll try to show you external fast. What's Aposto? What somebody was asking for a message from you, Aposto. I just saw in chat. I don't know if you're watching or not. Shadow Dragon, what were you looking for?
They just want the link, right?
Oh, for Discord. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah. Because if you guys, in fact, great, thank you. If you'd like to come join us to chat right now, by all means, you're welcome. So yeah,
we
please
had a question from. Let's see. We had a question about what do you think about fleet carriers?
I think there are great and kind of meh at the same time, right? I think they do everything I really wanted out of them, which is I can easily move my fleet of ships. I've got 36 fully engineered ships, right, of various types. So all of those live on my carrier. Then I've got another 35 or so ships that I use just for module storage that live on a station in our home system. So I can keep all of those there. I can have all of my ships and then a good selection of 100 or so modules, mostly weapons, on board, so that guys are up in Sans 2 want to do PvP, great. I'll have my whole fleet there in 15 minutes. Hey, let's go do Thargoids. Great. I'll have my whole fleet down there. And it opens up a lot of gameplay for me in that I bring the carrier, then it's, oh, hey, let's go play with this ship. Oh, let's go play with, and I can switch around and do a lot of different builds. I can go out to Testicle Moon, which is one of my favorite, I actually did a video on it, one of my favorite planets. It's got, incredibly deep canyons. The reason I call it Testicle Moon is there's so many canyons on it. They're literally 20-kilometer deep ribbon canyons over just about the entire surface of it. That on the system map, it looks like a big wrinkly testicle. And so being able to take my carrier out there and then have, a Imperial Eagle build that does 930 meters a second, but can't really jump, and take that through the canyon, stuff like that, they're great. I think that, like everything in Elite, there's a lot that could have been done with them. There's so much potential there, and a lot of the game that kind of gets squandered. So it's a mixed bag. I think if you're a late game player, if you've got, 5 billion in assets, you've got, call it 10 or 15 ships and of different types, and you play socially, they're fantastic. If that's not you, and I think that's part of the problem with it, a lot of people that got disappointed on them, these things are designed for 2%, maybe 5% of the player base. Now, the problem with that is everybody wants one because they're nice new, I should have repaired back there. They're nice, new, fun, shiny toys. So everybody thinks they want one, but I think they would have been better had they been squadron carriers, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I think they ultimately turned out to be a good thing. I'm glad they're in the game.
And I still have that little ship full of diamonds I gotta get rid of. I've been holding on for 6 months.
Oh yeah, well and that's a shame because diamonds have dropped in price quite a bit lately.
Oh, that hurts.
They're still like 900,000.
2,000 diamonds on my carrier, so I can feel your pain.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you're broke though.
No, I had a lot of very, very fine people in the squadron here who helped me do mining before I had to take a business trip to Taipei in December, And I'm like, guys, I gotta run. I got a plane to catch, and so I said, I'll just stay here in the asteroid field. And then you'll remember when I logged back in, I'm like, oh my god, I got attacked
Yep.
trying to get back to home
Yep.
base, and now I'm back in home base, limped back there. I still got out most of my stuff. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I just wish I had the time, you know.
Okay, so we're going to boost. We're going to go ahead and stop and repair here right after I boosted. And Patrick, I just posted in the Discord link for you again. And mining's not necessarily nerfed, Brian. They've just changed it in that right now you're not going to do mining with a, you're not going to do void opals. You're not going to do low tip diamonds. But right now with painite, you can still make 200 million plus an hour doing painite. So I certainly wouldn't call that a nerf.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. And
No,
I
I
didn't
was
realize
answering
I
chat.
didn't realize. I also didn't realize you might be still streaming. By the way.
No, you're all good. I was answering a question in chat, IMAX, so you're good.
Oh, I see. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do another repair. James, why'd you give up on traveling to Colonia? It's fun to get out here. Ekoversky, if I'm saying that right, said fleet carriers, the golf bag for elite. I like that, actually. Pretty good analogy. One quick tip I'll just point out on AFMUs for guys that might consider doing this. If you use multiple AFMUs, you can repair with them at the same time and increase your repair speed. It does show premium. There it is. I boosted a premium synth for my AFMU, which doubles its repair speed. So you might want to at least do that. Okay, let's turn that back on. Let's turn our thrusters on. And you'll notice I'm using power priorities to handle all of this. If you're new to, we don't want to put the Discord URL in. If you're new to power priorities and aren't using them extensively, I have a video that covers those as well. It is absolutely a fundamental skill that you should learn in Elite. So if you're just leaving everything at 1, no, not right. Go watch the video. There are a lot of reasons to do it. Chris says he bought the game in 2015, but he's just now starting to play. He's doing the gallon run for rep grind. Holy fleet carriers. Well, just to be clear, rep grind is not for fleet carriers, for those that might not understand that. Rep grind would be, and Gallon that's Federation, Imperial, if I remember right. That's done like the Clipper, the Courier, and the Cutter. And then, what's the other one what's the system for Fed? Fuck, I can't remember right now what the other one is.
Josie?
Say that again?
Ceos are Canopus.
Well, so the CS2, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the...
Canopus and XP?
No, not that one either.
Achosi and Chakba.
There you go, Achosi and Chakba. That's exactly it. Yep. And there's, like everything in Elite, there's a few ways to skin that cat. And I probably should have stopped to scoop on this one. Yeah, Achenar is a fun system, and then Achenar 3? Is Achenar 3 the one that's like 6.7 G? I think it's Achenar 3. Maybe it's 5. That's where you can do speed bowling. For those that don't know, speed bowling is using a gravity assist to massively increase your speed. For example, I've had a Type 9 going 10,000 meters per second in normal space. That's kind of boring though. You have to do it really high in the atmosphere. But doing down near the surface, you can get. I've had an Imperial Eagle doing 2,000 meters a second, skimming over the surface of a planet in VR. That's a really, really cool experience. Okay, good. I didn't screw myself up. Adam, the reason I'm not bookmarking my location is because I am doing one jump at a time. So I would have to go in and which you could, I guess, go in and pre-bookmark everything. Sure, if you were planning ahead that much. But I'm using the Neutron router right here and copy and paste it in each of my jumps one after the other. So that's why. who has a quick sentence to explain Chapka? What do you mean exactly? Do you mean in terms of how to do the grind? You're just basically going back and forth between system stations doing data delivery missions. It's super, super simple. Otherwise, I don't know that I know what you mean. You know, Brian, it's actually not barf-inducing. He says, I love VR, but that sounds barf-inducing, because the way you do it is you have to find the edge of a crater so that because you're going down the whole time as you're accelerating. So you skim above the edge of a crater. And I mean, I've got a pretty iron stomach for that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't call it as such. No more so than really, I mean, you know, almost combat is more, you know, barf-inducing when you're, you know, looking all over the place, looking over your head, rolling around, all that kind of stuff. Ooh, one ship for the rest of my time, probably the Crate Mark II. The Crate Mark II, it's easily the most, you know, best all-around ship in my opinion. It's got great visibility, great hard poise placement, very good shields. You know, it's relatively fast. You know, if you needed to run cargo or passengers in it, you've got pretty decent space for that. You know, you can get a decent, I think you can get in the 50s jump range out of it. So if I had to pick one, and that's not my favorite ship, but if I had to pick one, I think that would be the Crate. Anybody else disagree? What would you guys pick if you could only pick a single ship?
I think it runs the full spectrum. I mean, you can kit it out for Thargoids, for PvE.
Yeah, I mean, it does a lot of things incredibly well. Where, say, the Python could be another choice in that category, but the Python does two things great, which is for medium class, which would be passengers and cargo. I don't like it for combat, but you could certainly argue that it's good at combat. But then other things it's not as good at, where I think the Mark II is better at those things. Where, you know, so, and I just, again, because of VR player, the cockpit and the view in the Crate Mark II is so much better than the Python. That's another big factor for me personally. Yeah, we got a Python answer, Corvette answer, and the Crate Mark II also has ship launch fighters, exactly, right? So if you're going to bring a friend with you, you know, if you're going to go somewhere and jump in the ship launch fighter for something small and maneuverable, you know, things like that. Yep, that's another big factor.
What about the Anaconda being the only ship?
I hate the Anaconda. It's absolutely my least favorite ship in the game. I don't like how big and bulky it is. I don't like how horrible it handles. I don't like large class ships just in general for the most part, except for the Type 10 and the Type 9. And I love those because of the view out of the cockpit. The view in the cockpit in VR sucks in the Anaconda. You've got this super low, you know, roof above you. I feel real claustrophobic in it. You've got that big long schnoz out in front of you, blocking your view. I'm not a fan of it at all. It does certain things great, like maximum jump range. That's why I'm using it for this. I debated on using a Crate Phantom for this, just because it's so much more maneuverable in Super Cruise. But, you know, ultimately that wasn't really going to matter for this. So yeah, I could see why people would pick the Anaconda, and it's, you know, it's easily the most versatile of the large class ships. I mean, it's got the highest DPS in the game. You know, you've got longest jump range in the game. You've got plenty of cargo space, great passenger carrier. I mean, it's really hard to argue with it. It's just not my personal preference at all. Thank you once again, Aposto, for sharing those. But yeah, I'm curious what other ships folks would pick.
Really like the Anaconda. I mean, I not just to be against you, which is
no,
fun.
I know you like it.
always.
Yeah. Well, you always.
I
Like to
do
disagree
like
with
the
me.
Anaconda. You know, it's a multi-purpose ship, and it's your first big ship, right? So, and it's got the most firepower, right?
Yep. Most damage per second.
It still has the most firepower. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really fun ship, and once you get used to flying it, some of the combat that you can do in it is hysterical and fun. So
yeah. Again, I mean, I would never fault somebody for
it's a
that.
great ship.
It is, right? It is. I mean, and you could easily argue it is the best single all-around ship, right? Now, you know, the negative there would be large class. Sometimes, you know, you can't land places, including planetary surfaces. Quick tip, if you're ever considering going to land on a planet for something like unlocking the Guardian FSD booster, do not take a large class ship. Don't even take a medium class ship. Take a DBX, because there are times when you just absolutely can't find someplace to land, or you've got to land, you know, fucking 10 kilometers away or something like that.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
Yep, lots
Same
of people
here.
have. Yep, if you see the comments on my FSD Unlock video, multiple people like, well, damn it, I went in Anaconda. I was like, well, yeah, that's a reason I took the DBX in the video, right? And there's a reason I gave you a build for the DBX because that's what you want, right?
Yeah, I'm like right in between. I'm like, I think the Anaconda is a great ship. It in some ways it's a better passenger ship than
the Beluga?
Even the Beluga, because
Yep.
you can, if as long as you're not doing luxury, you can pack a ton of people in there. It's a great mining ship, and you can carry SRVs and fighters. It's got a lot of good things.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
The worst VR experience.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It's the worst bridge in VR
in
the whole game, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's squatty. It's like a Camaro. It's like it looks great on the outside, but that window sucks. I hear what you're saying, but it is so versatile. It would be really hard. And it's funny. Everybody says, "Well, pick your best ship." I'm like, you really can't do one ship because then it has to be a small or medium. Because
that's why I picked the Mark II.
Land
exactly.
on every pad.
Yep.
You should probably say, what are your two best ships? But I would still go cutter. I just love the cutter.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I love the cutter. For big ships?
With the crappy... Well, okay, for big ships, right?
Yeah. If I was going to do a big ship, small ship, the cutter would be my favorite. And it's in some ways all that in cargo and capacity. So it's
well,
you can haul with it. You
can
put passengers.
Right.
There's just some it's maneuverable, especially on its horizontal. I mean, there's some really nice things comparatively. Now small ships or medium to small, that's a toughie. There's so many good ones.
Small especially is tough. Like I think for me, small, the Vulture. I just love the cockpit. I love the maneuverability.
I would not have expected that from you. I thought you were going to go.
I mean, okay, so obviously it's going to be the Sidewinder, right? But the Sidewinder is kind of hard to actually live with because it does so little damage. But I will say, and I've said this many times, my absolute single favorite ship to fly is absolutely the Sidewinder without question. I love the view in it. I love how maneuverable it is. I love the hard point placement right up there in your face. A couple enforcer cannons on the Sidewinder is just fantastic.
For the Cobra Mark III. I always
that's a great one.
For a Cobra Mark III.
That's a great one. And the Cobra Mark III is kind of the bigger Sidewinder in a way, right? And the Cobra Mark III is probably my favorite ship to pirate in, to PvP pirate, because you've got enough space for actual cargo and collectors and a hatch breaker and all that kind of stuff, right? But no, man, the Sidewinder, just the wonderful view in the Sidewinder. Oh, I just love everything about the Sidewinder. The Imperial Eagle is fantastic. Like I like the feel of small class ships. Again, VR. I love the feeling of being in a fighter. I don't want to be in a ship, right? Like a battleship, like the cutter, the Anaconda, the Corvette. I want to be in a fighter.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I love the Mark IV look, but for a ship, it sucks comparatively. But I really like the look of the 4.
I can't even think of what it looks like off the top of my head.
Yeah, nobody likes the 4.
I didn't buy pre-Horizons, so I don't have the Mark IV. I need to ask support to give it to me. I wonder if they would. I asked a long time ago when my channel was tiny, and they told me no. But I've heard they've actually given it to people before.
We have a question from Paul Russo. It says, first time to Colonia, should I take my fleet carrier, which is about 45 jumps over 15 hours, but you also get your mobile base, your golf bag, or do you just take a well-engineered gear ship?
I think the only reason to take a fleet carrier out there would be if you want to bring other ships with you. Like if you were going to, there's two ways to look at it. If you were going to kind of move to Colonia, bring your fleet carrier, take all your ships with you, and you're there, right? That said, it's so much slower to get there when compared to, what I'm doing in an Anaconda, that you might just jump out there in the Anaconda and ship a few ships out instead. But I don't see a scenario where I would be taking a fleet carrier out just because of how long it would take to get it out there. But if you wanted to bring, a bunch of ships, it would be cheaper, certainly, than shipping them all.
Cheap is good.
Yeah. Yeah. because it would get really expensive. We'll check before we're done for the night what it costs to ship something out. I want to say getting my Anaconda back to the bubble when I did it was, I know it was 62 or 64 hours, and I think it was like 800 million credits. Like, it was something extreme. By the way, guys, you'll see that the star field is getting even denser. I think we are, let's see how many jumps. We're very close. 11 jumps. We might not have to stop for another repair. That would be nice. Let me get in the cone and we'll... I tell you, I've seen enough neutrons for a while. And now they're starting to get it shorter. Oh, wait a minute. Why did that give me standard? Oh, because it's within my range. That's why. Yeah, we'll just start to malfunction, so I'm not going to have to stop and repair again. I shouldn't have to anyway. Yeah, Shadow says, you know, you can jump once in the fleet carrier, go rest and do other things. Sure, you could do that, right? But, you know, there's the issue. You've got to, if you know, you can't do but 500 light years in 15 minutes. And, you know, in this ship, I'm doing 500 light years in 2, right, with neutrons. So, you know, it just depends on what your goal is, how much you play. If you're just going to kind of, you know, do something in the background and jump it every so often over a few days or something like that, sure. What is it, 80 jumps to get it out there? I think I remember reading. No, not 80. Well, yeah, what would it be? Maybe it was 80 when we first. I remember seeing 80 once. Maybe it was 80 hours. Maybe that's what it was at one point. Yeah, I think it was 80 hours when we had the hour cooldown and spin up, which was absurd. I'm not a big fan of 15 minutes, but 15 minutes is at least tolerable. All right, guys, we're getting in the home stretch. 9 jumps to go. Yeah, IMAX, it was again, when it was 1 hour to spin up and 1 hour to cool down, I remember somebody with the estimate was that it would be 80 hours to get to Colonia. So I guess it would be a quarter of that now, so it would be, maybe if I'm doing the math right, it would be
20.
20, but no, because it would be 15 on both sides, so it would be more of a cut than that. So maybe it would be around 10. Well, it's, you know, 22,000 divided by 511. What would that be? Yeah, but maybe around 11 hours.
It would be 49 jumps according to the plotter. And each one is like 15 minutes plus a cooldown, so 17 minutes.
So 20 minutes per, and how many did you say? 40 what?
49 jumps.
Times 20, so call it 50. Yeah, about 10 hours. If I just did that quick math right. And yeah, Xander got it right. Like, you, with a big neutron, with the biggest neutron charge, this would do, if you're doing, I assume that's the right math, at 84.17 times 4 would be in that range.
Yeah, 16 hours, 15, 16 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Because you have to stop to actually add tritium to the tank as well.
That's true too, right? You got to stop every now and then and move tritium over, right? And you would have to stock up a shit ton of tritium before you went. Whoops. So yeah, I don't see me ever. God damn it! I missed it again. Cost myself one more minute here. Yeah, I don't see me ever bringing a carrier out. And as I was starting to say earlier, as you see, the star field here is getting, you know, super, super dense around me. I'll show once we get out to Colonia. We'll spend a little time looking around and see some of the pretty. Which fighter to buy? That's pretty easy, Shadow. If you're doing it for combat, the Taipan, the fixed beam Taipan, if you're letting the NPC fly it, is absolutely the choice that everybody makes. It's got a great balance of hull and shield, which are all pretty weak, but pretty strong there, to the highest DPS that the fighters can put out. If you're doing Thargoid stuff, the AX Taipan. The Guardian fighters are really, really cool from again, if you're playing in VR, an immersion standpoint, they're actually fantastic. The cockpits of them are just, God, they're just so damn cool. But they are made of fucking paper. So actually using them for Thargoid combat, they are absolutely damn near worthless. The swarm breathes on them and you die. I mean, it's just terrible how weak they are. The weapons are pretty great. The Gauss cannon in it, I've actually taken hearts out with the Gauss cannon in it, if everything's leaving you alone, which is obviously pretty tough. Maliki, if I'm saying that right, forgive me if I'm butchering your name, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Glad you could, and thanks for staying up with us. And I'm not going to make under 2 hours. So I'm at 2 hours and about to be 2 hours and 3 minutes. So I should be under 2:15. I guess I'll honk something since I haven't honked it once yet. There we go. Remember when I was first learning the game, like not understanding, I was expecting like honking to do more, right? Like I was expecting it to actually like, I don't know, like actually scan something and do something. And I remember just constantly honking things. Wait a minute, that's not what I want. And always wondering like, well, why isn't that, doing anything more interesting? Why is that such a short jump? I guess because it just is. Pasta, will you toss the Discord link in again if you don't mind? I think somebody was asking for it. Again, if you want to come chat with us tonight, please stop by. If you're just looking for a group to play with, you got questions and stuff like that, we've got a pretty good group of mentors and just general members in the Discord. It's pretty active. Stop on by.
The question: how much tritium would it take to go from Sol to Colonia?
What's up, guys?
Ooh, I don't know how much tritium you would actually need. I mean, you would definitely have to have, like, basically a cargo load full of it so you can transfer stuff over from it.
Yeah. So doing the math, it's very dependent on the current capacity of your carrier, how much storage you've allocated towards modules and then your market. But the rough count today is about 4,000 units from Sol.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
One way, yeah, one way. To come back would be 8,000, and that used to be 16,000.
Until they dropped it.
Yeah.
And as Apostle said, good evening, Lego.
Yeah, what's up?
One of the PvP pilot extreme. Apparently, he's an FDL pilot, right?
Yeah. We
jackass.
That's we're tagging ourselves in Discord now, so we can be rounded up later.
I thought you'd be at everyone FDL there. I mean, what the hell?
It goes without saying.
Yeah, if you guys want to have PvP questions, Lego is, I don't know, I don't want to kiss his ass too much here, but probably in the top 5 FDL pilots. Pasto, you think that's, am I exaggerating or?
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely one of the best.
Yeah, for sure. I'm exaggerating.
20,
As long as Aposto's in the top 4, right?
No,
Exactly.
no, I can't beat Lego. Like, maybe I can get close here and there. The last time I beat Lego was like a year ago, over a year ago.
Hell, I couldn't beat Lego with premium ammo when we tested that. Why aren't I honking, Night Shark? Because I just don't fucking care, to be honest. I'm already elite in exploration. I've got so many things I'm trying to do. Talk to you guys, do jumps as fast as I can. So I just don't care. Like, it definitely would be not a bad idea to do that. But again, since this is the speed run, I just don't care. Here, I'll honk one for you. Actually, I won't even do that because I need to get into the galaxy map.
So, silly question for these speedruns. Can you not
Yeah.
pre-map this?
Not really. So you can pre-plot it all out. So I've got it all pre-plotted it using the neutron tool, and if I didn't care about neutrons, yes, I could just plot and just let it do it. But when you're doing neutrons, the game will route you through some neutrons, but it doesn't know everything, and it won't give you Lego. You're killing us. It won't give you the best routing that the Spanch tool will do, right? So that's why I'm having to do one jump at a time and jump back and forth between the galaxy map. And in fact, even Spanch tells me estimated jumps 9, number of visits to the galaxy map 10. So it even knows how many times I'm going to have to go back and forth to the galaxy map because of that.
So another noob question: why are we
Yeah.
jumping to neutrons?
So neutrons quadruple your jump range. So if my jump range is 80, if I boost off a neutron, I can jump as far as 320 light years in a single jump. So it essentially cuts my travel time to Colonia by 4.
Now, is that ship
Cuts it
dependent or not?
Nope, every ship in the game will do it, right? So whatever your range is, if your range is 20, you get 80, right? If your range is, in my case, 80-ish, you get 320, right? Whatever it is.
Need more neutrons out by Beetlejuice, because that's where I tried to go and
Yeah.
couldn't make it.
Beetlejuice is close enough. There is one neutron in the bubble. It's called Jackson's Lighthouse. And if you're going under 1,000 light years or so, you kind of don't usually worry too much about neutrons because the pasting back and forth, and it's just kind of a pain when you can just kind of just, if you've got a good jump range, just kind of jump, right? But yeah, there's not that much right around us in the bubble. White dwarfs will also boost you, but they only boost by 50% instead of 4x. So they're not really worth it because there is risk in this. If I were to hit the exclusion zone, you drop out into the cone of the neutron, and while I've survived that in something maneuverable like an Ask Explorer, it would almost certainly kill me in the Anaconda, right? So there definitely is risk involved with doing it. You're also, as we might be noticing, I'm taking 1%, oops, why didn't that copy? 1% damage to my FSD every time I neutron jump. So you have to be ready for a trip. God damn it, I didn't pay attention to fueling. If you're doing this a lot like this, you're gonna have to stop and repair, right? So like I brought an AFMU so that I could do those repairs.
Yeah, and getting caught in the exclusion zone of a neutron star in Anaconda is not fun at all. It's a very
No.
slow, painful death that you
Yep.
cannot escape ever.
Yep. You just bounce around and you get knocked around and bounced around, and you're trying to line up and you're trying to jump, but you can't super cruise out of it. And to get hyper jump out of it, which you can do, and again, I've done it in ASP, but you've got to get lined up for that jump. So you're waiting till you get lined up. You try to boost just as you get lined up to get it to initiate the jump. It's in an Anaconda. It's I'm not going to say impossible, but it's pretty fucking close.
Now,
White dwarves, I wouldn't even. They're not even worth it because there is a little bit of risk. So I wouldn't even bother with a white dwarf.
Yeah, I plotted a course out to Beetlejuice from our home base there, and I actually saw it goes last stop for fuel. I'm like, well, damn.
Well, last stop for fuel just means as long as you have a fuel scoop, that will keep moving. Right, so that's just fuel in terms of your current tank, right? So let's say you've got 10 jumps to go. It might show you that jump 3 is your last jump for fuel, but if you scoop at star 2, that's going to move out to star 4. You scoop at 3, it moves out to 5, right? So don't let that
I didn't realize
stop.
that. That's why I've never made the trip. I figured that's it. It's like driving out Route 66. There's no more fuel stops after that.
Oh, I charged a little early this time. Yeah, no. So if you don't have the range to make something, it won't plot it. The game will just say, error plotting, and it won't let you plot to it. As long as you have a scoop, and the other key thing, and my fuel scooping video covers this, is you want to set the galaxy map to filter to only show you scoopable stars, the KGB foam class of stars, and then there's a little tick box that says apply filter to route, and that way it will only route you through scoopable stars.
I'm going to have to try it again then.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
And Beetlejuice is really cool to see. There's a planet relatively close to it that landing on the surface of that planet is really fantastic.
Like I haven't done any planetary landing yet, so just one thing at a time for me.
Oh yeah, planetary. We'll have to do that together some night then, because that's actually. Whoops, that's not where I want to go. Because that's actually not that difficult at all.
Crash on a planet, I'm sure, but landing, I'll try that.
Yeah. No, it's really fairly easy. You just as long as you glide in, the HUD shows you the kind of the area where if you're gliding here, it'll knock you out. It won't let you glide all the way to the surface. Which is funny. I've always thought it was weird they call it glide since there's no atmosphere, so you're not gliding. But
Flight Sim 2020 has told me that I know how to crash a plane.
have you flown?
Man,
Did you get the premium version with DIA?
No, I don't
Yeah,
have that.
I don't
was
either.
I was doing a stupid thing. I was flying one of the jets out of Calgary, and
Okay.
because that's where I live, I figured I'm gonna land in front of my buddy's place, but the plane's going so fast, and I just crashed into the river. So,
Gotcha. Wait, are you not in Colorado anymore?
well, I'm still in Colorado, but when I was living up in Calgary when I worked for Voodoo, so I figured I'll land in front of my
Oh
buddy's place.
shit!
Take a
I might have
screenshot.
just hit the exclusion zone, guys. Well, no, it dropped me, but I'm not. Interesting. I don't know what just happened.
Excuse me? I just
Huh.
tried out neutron jumping for the first time ever a few minutes ago. Not one, but two. Both are, I think, within 200 light years of Shinarta Desra. I was trying it
Yep,
out. Man,
yep.
it doesn't sound as hard as it looks to be.
I don't think it's difficult at all. There was a big discussion on the forum thread about the competition that was that they had wished for the unengineered, that I had not allowed neutron jumping, which I didn't want to do to put people through like how much longer it would take to get there, especially unengineered. But some of the guys were like legitimately like concerned about it. Okay, let's get a little distance and we'll come back and loop this one because I did kind of screw that up. Damn it, I'm not going to make under 215 either. Erg.
He's just crazy doing the neutron dance.
Something like
Sorry,
that.
I'm old.
We're only
Old.
two jumps. We're only 2 jumps away. We're almost there. Yeah, arithmetic. I got to admit, when I dropped, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Right? Like if 2 jumps away, I would have died. Yeah, that would have sucked. Well, I'm boosted, it says. Well, let's... No, I guess I'm not. Let's replot that. Oops, is that where I am?
My God, it's stars.
Okay, I guess I'm actually not. So let's find the edge and get right at the edge. Yeah, I'll admit my heart rate shot up a little bit there.
I still can't get over the amount of star assists, the places you're jumping. Again, I'm new to the game. It's
Yeah.
just incredible, the 1-to-1 scale.
Well, I think that, it was the best stat I could find online that we've explored less than 0.005% of the entire. I did see one stat that was 0.003%, but that was like a year and a half old. I can't imagine it's gone up that much from then. I think it's hard to estimate. And we don't exactly know how many planets are in the system or how many stars and planets. I've heard estimates of 400 billion, and 400 billion planets, but those are just guesses.
And that's what I like to do. Well, once I get the time, I just want to jump around stars just to find new stuff. Because
that sort of exploration can be fun, especially as you get near the near to the core. Right, and we can see on my screen right now how much denser the star field's getting, how much brighter the stars are, it gets really, really beautiful out here. That's why, and this is kind of nothing compared to what Sag A is like. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of those photos on Reddit. I'm like, God damn, I got to get out there. But yeah, in time. But yeah, it's gorgeous.
Okay, no, that's too far. I guess it's. All right, I guess I plotted it already somehow. All right,
I was
come
just
on,
at
frame shift
Sagittarius
drives.
a few days ago, and it's definitely worth it.
To where?
To
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sag-A, I mean, it's just amazing once you get out there how much denser the stars are, how bright everything is. The nebula, like you can see right now, that purple nebula just to the front left of our screen, that's where we're headed. That's where Colonia is. And you see there's these other nebulas really nearby. It's just a really, really pretty part of space. If you've not been, I mean, look, it's taken me about 2.5 hours to get out here. 2.5 hours in elite time is nothing. Right? I mean, like I've got almost 7,000. Now I'm stupid, but you know, people like 2 hours, 3 hours in elite time is just a drop in the bucket. So if you've not been out here, I think you really owe it to yourself to take a trip, and that's where we're trying to come up with an excuse for the competition to get folks out here. If for some reason you want to enter the competition, but you can't get entered by September 6th, please reach out to me and speak up. We would consider extending it if there were enough folks requesting that. So, oh, God damn it. How do I not have enough fuel for that short of a jump? Oh, don't tell me I've got to jump. I've got to fuel one more time when we're right here. Apparently I do. Come on, get out of here. You know what? At this point, I'm tempted to just... It's only going to be 2 jumps. That's going to be faster if I just normal jump it. Do I have enough for the first? No. Let's just go to a close one, and we just won't worry about neutrons because we're only 2 jumps away. Come limping in with the frame shift drive on 60. Oh, it's on 69%. It's on the perfect percentage. That would have been nice if we'd have ended at 69%.
Nice.
So yeah, now I can close out the neutron router. Again, the neutron router is found at Spanch, and there we go. And yeah, thank you guys in chat for screaming at me to fuel. It's hard to see chat at the same time of doing this. So it looks like I'm going to be right under 2.5 hours. Class 7 scoops.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I saw you go by the star, I'm like, how the hell are you scooping up so fast?
Yep. A class 8 scoop basically just empties a star. Like the star will just be gone. It just drinks the whole star away.
I think I got
anything
a class
above
5.
Yeah, you know, a class 6 scoops at 800 scoops per second. I think this thing scoops at like 1,200 or 11 something scoops per. Yeah, I think it is over 1,200. And I can't remember what the 8 is, like 16, something like that. And I am running an 7A. Just a quick tip on fuel scoops. The A-class scoops are really expensive, especially when you get to the bigger ones. Like an 8A scoop, I think, is in the 250 million credit range, where a B-class scoop is only slightly slower and like a 1/10 the price. I mean, it's maybe not that much cheaper, but it's a lot cheaper. It's the best way to deck out an Anaconda like mine. Oh, well, I mean, you can build mine. If you, I tell you what, Assassin, or who's asking that? Senpai Rev, if you'll ping me, or maybe if we have a second here at the end of the stream, I can build. But I tell you what, ping me on Discord after the stream, and I'll actually put together, and I'll update the video with the link. I'll put together what I would recommend as a ship for as a ship for this. So whether it be a YouTube later. What do you mean, Assassin? I mean, this video, all like streams will show up on YouTube. So if that's what you mean. 1.6K. I just call it scoops per second because I don't know what the fuck the number really is. Tons per second, whatever it is. But I like.
I think it is tons per second.
Yeah, I think that is what it is actually.
No, there's no way. It's not. Well, you can do like. It's not, you don't get like 300 tons per second, do you?
Well, let me see what it says on screen, and I'll tell you.
1250 is the max.
We're here.
12, and like the biggest tank is like 32 tons, right?
Yeah, it just says /S, right? So yeah, you're right. It's not per second. I mean, it's not ton. I don't know what it is.
Might be.
I
don't know. Kilograms.
Kilograms,
per
maybe.
second?
1,200 kilograms a second. Yeah, that might be it. I'm sure somebody can look it up. I'm guessing the wiki page says that. Oh, you know what? You know what? I was going to do this earlier, and I didn't. I forgot because with all the other freaking out.
That would be a really good thing to put in a 50 facts video. The unit for the fuel scoop.
You know what? I'll put that in the list for the next one. That's a really good idea. Alexa, set a timer for 14 minutes. So I just started well, let's see if it works. A giveaway. We talked about this at the top of the show, and I actually forgot. Okay, James did say kilograms for a second. Okay, there it goes. It jumped in. So this is for the Assassin Pack. It's the last. I've got to get some more skins from Frontier. It's the last one I've got. Put bang speedrun, exclamation point speedrun in chat, in live stream chat, not in Discord. In live stream chat, and to enter, there's 190 of you here, so that's pretty good odds. And we'll see who wins it. If you don't right away see it say your name, don't freak. It takes a minute sometimes. Now, also, if I was doing this max speed, and I'm not very good at it, I would be using the Super Cruise Assist module, like drop out the fastest from Super Cruise. At the time I'm at already, I'm not too worried about it. Lego, you're killing us again.
Yeah.
So these giveaways are for skins?
Yeah. So this is the Assassin Pack, which is, I don't remember what's in it. There's several different skins for kind of combat ships, I think. So it's, yeah, like the packs usually come with 3, I think.
Very cool.
So yeah, please. There we go. Got some folks entered. Yeah, there we go. 30 of you already. 39. All right. Of course, now it's just a stream of registrations in the chat.
It's good though, man. People are watching.
Yeah, especially given how badly we started. For those that have been here since the beginning, thank you for hanging with me as we got all that sorted out. My apologies again. Well, it looks like I'm going to do under 2 hours and 30, so I suppose I can live with that.
And this is your final destination here?
Let's turn off my docking computer. I'll dock it manually. Yeah, I was definitely hoping for under 2 hours. I mean, then again, with chatting with everybody, all the problems we had at first, I shouldn't say I'm surprised.
A fun way to spend an evening.
Yeah, at least getting to chat with everybody for sure. And of course, I can't boost, so... Ah, look at that. I hadn't seen that yet. There's a shipyard out here now. That makes sense. You guys can barely see it on camera. Once we get landed, I'll probably come back out and show you guys some stuff. We might actually, I need to look up where it is. Go to the, I think I've got it bookmarked, to the green manual. Yeah, Citizen Gold. I don't think I'm going to do FA off for this one. Especially given I don't have a shield and I've got very weak hull. Watch me get here and then bin it on the landing. You know, one thing I actually just thought of, I didn't point out. If you got here, self-destructed as soon as you got it in the system and then spawned on the pad, that might be a quicker way to get to the station. Creative use of game mechanics, right? Oh shit, I didn't request docking. Fuck.
Pew pew.
Come on. Come on, how long do I have to wait? 8 seconds, come on. Wasted my time. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Well, I did purposely nose into the mail slot to slow me down faster, which did do a little damage. Okay, pad 10. There's my pad. Of course, it's in the back. Make me fly a little bit further. And then once we land, we'll switch over into open, see if there's any other folks out here. Been a while since I landed an anaconda. Yeah, famous last words, no shit. That's how you do it, boys. There we go. Almost right on the minute. So 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 1 second, I think was the time. 2:26:01. All right. So here we are. Let's do this. Let's repair. Go ahead and restock. I wonder what ships if we could buy something better here to go out with. What have we got?
Hi, how's it going?
Asp
Hey,
Explorer.
folks.
We could buy an Asp Explorer real quick. What class? If only I could reuse my Class 6 frameshift drive on something, but I can't. Nothing good. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just grab a Phantom. Now let's get an Asp. Little prettier cockpit. Let's do that, and we're just gonna, let's see, leave it. Nah, let's see if we've got at least quickly a frameshift drive. I mean, yeah, a better frameshift drive, maybe some thrusters. Yeah, nice, Ekaversky. Bang, request docking. Yeah, exactly what I forgot. All right. Don't know if they're going to have Class 8. We'll take Class B. That'll work for this. At least they got A-rated thrusters. And that's all we're going to need. I'm sure I've got a ton of materials. Let's just do... What is my range? 22. Yeah. Nah, we're not going to worry about that. It'll take too long. Okay, so let's now... Oh, let's see if they've got fuel scoops. Fuel scoops. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see if I have the green planet. I must not, unless I've got bookmarks. Oh, I've got bookmarks turned off. No. Okay, let me see if I can find it real quick. Green gas giant Colonia. Glowing green giants definitive list. So for those curious, here is the thread that has these things. Let's see. It's to Colonia region. This is the one, I think. Yeah. So let's head here just to show you guys a little of the pretty since we spent all that time getting out here. Something with a little speed now. Oh yeah, so let's see. So there's the fleet carrier dock. If for anybody that hasn't seen that, let's get in a little prettier mode here. We'll just show it to you guys if you haven't seen it. Actually, I haven't. I wonder if they're different styles. I'll admit I haven't seen this one, like with the little tiny city back here. I think that looks pretty damn cool, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Pasta, have you seen these? Is this what the one in the bubble looks like? Or are they different? I wonder.
I think this one's different.
Yeah. It looks it to me. Okay. All right, let's get on our jumping. Again, like I was saying on the way out here, you notice how pretty it is here. The purple, you know, you've got this really pretty ringed gas giant here with the starfield getting super dense. If we look at the galaxy map, you can see, oh wait, do I have routes turned off? No, we should be showing them. You can see how dense the starfield is, right? They're just everywhere when compared to the bubble. And what I'm about to show you, this gas giant, is just gorgeous. My target time, JR, I'll admit, I was hoping for under 2 hours, and I did 2:26:01. Now, there's absolutely 30 minutes of time that I screwed up in there, that if I did this all by myself and, you know, was really paying attention to it, no question you could do it in under 2. This build, I don't think you want this build. We can share the Anaconda build, but that's not necessarily the Anaconda I would have taken. Although it was just fine. I didn't really need heat sinks. I was fine with the single AFMU. Aposto, do you have that link handy still, if you don't mind?
Sorry, I'm distracted. Which one was it?
The Anaconda build.
Yep, I'll put it up right now,
Great,
and then I'm
great.
going to be
Thank you.
AFK for a couple of minutes. Who else
Okay,
do we have
okay.
moderator-wise?
No sweat. Storm's here. I don't know if the Storm's paying attention though. I can take care of it now that I'm not jump.
I'll be back in a few minutes. I got to troubleshoot an internet connection.
Yeah, you're
for
all
another
good.
kid.
You're all good. Yeah.
right,
In fact, you know what? I've got the link. Don't sweat it. I've got it.
Oh, cool. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, I'll be right back.
Does the HUD colors change Nebula? No. The only thing that HUD colors change in a negative way are the pictures of folks in stations. Like when you open the mission board and things like that, it shows you the mission givers. Those images get screwed up. But other than that, no, nothing else gets affected. Oh God, it's so nice to fly something maneuverable. I just turned. It was like, And the video that I have, I've got a video on the channel called HUD Explained or Heads Up Display Explained that covers the whole HUD, but then it has my HUD colors in the description. So we've got, let's see how long for the entry. If you're not entered, we've got just over 4 minutes. 66 of you are entered, and there's 186 here, so 120 of you are just letting those others have much better odds. You're most welcome, Matthew. If there were other questions that I missed that I didn't get to discuss, by all means, toss them out to me. And check that thing out, guys. Ever seen a neon green gas giant? And now they pepper around the galaxy. I posted the link in there a minute ago. Oh, I think I posted the wrong build in. Sorry, I did the speedrun video, not the Anaconda build. Let's put that in. There you go. So, yep, bang speedrun, guys, to get entered. Refresh it and see how many of you are in. I got just under 3 minutes. And yes, it is a very weird gas giant. There's a dozen or so of these that have been discovered around the galaxy. All right, 68 of you are entered. There we go, getting more guys. And I don't care, by the way. It's not like, as you guys know, I've never asked for a like or a sub or anything like that. So it's just to give you guys something.
Is he just, when you land next, can you check transfer and...
Oh, yes, I absolutely will. Yep.
You mentioned earlier and I forgot.
Yep, no problem. Absolutely, I will. Let's get in the external camera for this. Again, just how incredibly dense the star field is. I say incredibly dense. It's not. It's actually very dense. It gets really incredibly dense at the core. Minute and a half, guys. Alexa, cancel timer.
14-minute timer canceled.
Oh, I live on my Echo. I think it's one of those things, like a lot of people get an Echo and then never really use it. Man, from when we got mine, I just bought, I literally own 6 of them and they're placed all over the house. So anywhere in the house, I can just, in normal tone of voice, control all the lighting, the HVAC, set timers, play music. How pretty is that? And again, in VR, this is one of those things that looks so cool in VR. I love flying over rings in VR. The perspective of it's just awesome. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I should... there we go. You guys don't need to see the controls right now. Make it a little prettier. Can't spell speedrun. Well, that I can't help you with. But yeah, isn't that pretty? 20 seconds, guys. Looks like a lollipop or a marble is what I always think of. I don't know if you guys watch the jelly marble runs that got sponsored by John Oliver. 10 seconds. This reminds me of the Crazy Cat's Eyes.
there's another marble competition that recently got started. I was watching. I'll shoot you a link later.
Another channel
I don't know if it's another channel, but
or
it might be.
his? Let's do this. Let me flip the camera around and we'll fly away from it. You know, we got to do an asp in front of things, right? Okay, flying backwards. As long as I don't hit those rings.
Nope, you're right. It is Jelly's Marble Run.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny, if you haven't seen it, there's a video where John Oliver, like, he wound up sponsoring it because he just stumbled across the channel and thought it was so damn amazing that he immediately had his people reach out to the guy and were like, okay, can we sponsor you? Because this is awesome. If you guys haven't seen Jelly Marble Runs, in fact, whoever's saying that in Discord, if you can shoot in the live stream channel, if you'll post the URL for the YouTube channel, I'd love that. I'll share it with everybody.
I'll drop it.
So these are some of the reasons to 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 1 second was the time. These are the reasons why you come to Colonia, as just the real pretty like this. Okay, let's see. Are there any stations here? Nope, no stations. So we're gonna do a self-destruct to get back quicker. Save you guys the time. And it is a little late for me, and I am very tired. You can have a Discord link. Hold on, let me put that in. Let's do this.
Goodbye, cruel world.
It won't let me post the link. So here
in the live streaming channel in Discord. Put it in the live streaming channel in Discord, the text channel, and I'll post it from there. That was Moniker, right?
Yep.
I just added you in the channel so you could find it. Okay, let's check the transfer times just to see. And by the way, I'm not going to fly back. So in fact, I'll do this. Well, you know what? We can know the real number with my Anaconda because I'll just self-destruct myself back here in just a second. And we'll show you guys how to do that. But let's look at what transfer times for other things would be. So there you go. Let's find... Okay, so my Type 10 is fully built. It's probably worth 800 million, something like that. And as you see, 1.1 billion and 61 and a half hours. Let's find my ASP. Just go over it. I guess I could have sorted. There we go. 45 million for an ASP. That's not too bad. 64. Okay, that's my fully built one for 64, right? So yeah, it's not so much about the ship, right? But for example, where's that Type 10? So this Type 10 is just for module storage. It's not really outfitted at all, other than having some modules stored on it, and it's almost, you know, it's 570 million to get that back because of the cost of it, right? So let's see. Is there any other requests quickly of anything else that folks would like to see in Colonia before I fast travel home? Oh, let's do the winner. Let's do the winner. 79 of you got entered. Let's pick a winner, and here we go. And click, and Glorgo Dakovic. Am I getting that at all right? Gligor, oh, there we go. Gligor Dakovic. Am I get that even close at all? Gligor, I hope I'm getting it right. I don't mean to butcher your name, buddy. Please ping me on Discord, and you might not hear from me tonight, but I will get you your prize. And here is the Jelly's Marble Run. Marble. And this channel is great, guys, if you've not seen it. Is it cheaper to send modules back separately? Yeah, definitely. It's just a bigger pain in the ass to strip everything and, you know, put it all in storage. But yeah, absolutely. It would be cheaper, quite a lot cheaper. So if you care about credits. Is our winner here? There he is. He is here. Was I close? Gliger? G. Liger? No. Oh,
Okay,
you
you
don't
need
have
to stop
Discord.
now.
I tell you what, then, if you don't have Discord, let me give you my email address. There you go. Email me there then. Yeah, sorry, Storm. I just always like to get names right, but
No,
that
I'm
was
just playing
probably
with you.
enough. Okay, if there's not any other questions or requests to see out here, let's see how you fast travel back. So, most importantly, we have put our engineered ship with our engineered modules away. Now, because this thing has weapons on it, ooh, let's deploy our hard points. Well, what if now we shoot at somebody? Because that's the fun way to die. So we grab this orca, we say, hey, we don't like you. Oh, wait a minute, is the station good? Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, Assassin, I'm going to, don't worry. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised when people say they don't have a Discord account. It's probably something you want to look into. Now, here's the key. So here, we're going to the detention facility. Well, we don't care because since we don't care about this ship, there's no engineer modules on it. Instead, we're going to pick the free Sidewinder back at Trevithick. And now, when I say purchase and confirm, Shabanga, we are going to spawn all the way back in the bubble. And just like that, we are back home 22,000 light years back. Now, if I was going to transfer it to here, which I'll fly to my carrier later, we would, what is there not? Oh, there's not a shipyard here? Interesting. Really? I guess not. So we have to fly to at least the closest shipyard to then transfer our ships to the carrier. In fact, we wanted to know what that was. So let me just go to the closest shipyard. That wouldn't be it. Let's just jump. Is there a station close to Rye or Abate? Yeah, we'll go there. Perfect. And we'll see what the you're shooting at the top 1% of liners out there. I wasn't I? Apparently, I'm in the top 1% of criminals out there. And I get to end in the Sidewinder, my favorite, as we were talking about ships earlier. You know, if YouTube would let you do more poll options, I'd put up a poll of what's your favorite ship, but can't really do 40 choices. Yeah, if you could get home this quick from work, that would be kind of sweet, wouldn't it? I don't think you want to try suicide to get yourself home faster. That's probably not a good thing to do. Oh, and one thing I was going to do tonight, but I started too late. I'll try to set this up for the next stream. Is I was going to put my set up my camera and actually have my camera on, and just so I could show off my COVID coiffure, right? Like I haven't had a haircut in about 9 months now, and I usually keep my hair very short. So like I don't think in my adult life I've ever had hair this long. I'm kind of digging it in a way. Evening, Cable. What's going on, buddy? All right, good old Cleve Hub. Haven't been here in forever. And actually, that's a question for you guys. Do you prefer streamers that have cameras, or do you not really give a crap? I don't know why anybody would want to look at my ugly mug, but yeah, what do you guys prefer? Because it would only be for you guys. I do have a beard. Not an overly thick one. It's a little thick right now because I haven't shaved in a while. But I have just a beard trimmer, so I kind of keep it to just a scruff. I think it's been 20 years since I was fully clean shaven. Actually, longer than that because I wore a goatee from my early 20s on. Yeah, it's probably been like, other than a few rare instances, 20 or 25 years since I've been clean shaven. Yeah, Eddie, I'm about the same boat. It's been since about February, maybe a little earlier than that. I don't know. I wear my COVID hair as a badge of honor in a small way. All right, let's drop it, Cleve. No camera. Yeah, okay. All right. Don't carry the weight. Okay, fair enough. Don't give a rat. Okay, good. Sounds like nobody really gives a rat's ass, which is exactly what I was hoping you guys would say. Yeah, and plus I've kind of never gotten that. Like, why do I want to watch somebody who's not really watching me? Why do I want to watch somebody stare at their screen while they play a game? In fact, that's why I try to have like conversation in Discord and try to, teach is the wrong word, but maybe explain something as we're doing something, because I don't get the whole just watch somebody play a video game thing of streaming. Like, I don't get it. I guess I'm not the target demographic. Cable, thank you, buddy. I knew somebody finally pooped on me tonight. God, we had that super generous donation at the beginning of the show. Heath, I think was his name. I asked him to reach out to me. Let's see, I've got a couple DMs. It might be him. But yeah, right off the top of the show, Heath donated $120, which was rather generous. I do know Mighty Jingles Shikes. In fact, I've been working with Jingles to have him on as a guest. Yep. We've been talking about doing some sort of collab or having him on as a guest. He's in the, I can't remember what they call it now, Insider Initiative, something like that. There's a new program that Frontier's put together for a lot of the creators, and he's in that with me, and Obsidian's in there. A lot of us are in there, and I chatted with him a little bit before that, but I've talked with him more since then. Really nice guy. Okay, so to get our ship back from Colonia. No, not as bad as I thought. So 61 hours and 309 million. So not that bad. I'm not going to ship it here. But what I am going to do is bring my DBX here so that later I don't have to fly over to my carrier or move my carrier. 3 minutes. Well, guys, you know what? I think at this point, I'm going to call it an evening. That said, it's always been tradition to do a round of CQC at the end of it's Wednesday, but a Tuesday night stream. Patrick, no, Yamix is not in that program. If you guys, if there's enough interest, I'm up for doing CQC. Live stream chat, if anybody's watching and, is at their computers or playing and would like to join in CQC, please shout out. Discord, would any of you guys like to play around? We'd probably need at least 4 of us to have a decent round.
I'm up for it.
Okay, that's 1, 2 with me. Anybody else?
Never done it before, but I could try, I guess.
It's awesome. If you've never done it before, CQC gets a little bit of a bad rap. It's much better now that they've added the queue for matchmaking in game. So you can get a match a lot easier because, folks, it's a lot easier to just do that. Take care, Mr. Angel. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. So if any of you guys wants to... if you're ever wanting to do CQC, it's hugely fun. In fact, I'm going to end the stream if we play. Either way, I'm going to end, but I'm going to end the stream so I can jump in VR because CQC in VR is just really fantastic. Storm, do you have any time for it?
I need a little bit of setup time. Just
How
to
long's
pull
a
out
little
some
bit?
stuff.
Like 5 minutes, 30 minutes. Oh, okay.
10 or
Great.
15.
Great. Start getting your stuff together. No Sidewinder Slaughter tonight, Mr. Macrovision. Great name, by the way. Not tonight, but I am going to put out an announcement in the next day or so, and I'm going to spin that up next week. So we will be doing Sidewinder Slaughter next Monday and next Wednesday. So yeah, for those that haven't done Sidewinder Slaughter, very quickly what Sidewinder Slaughter is, a group of us all start in bone stock Sidewinders, like just buy it bone stock, like I'm in right now. We go to an anarchy station, you go outside the station and have a big PvP melee death match. With the the twist is every time you die, you get to upgrade or add 1 module. And so it adds this really interesting strategy component of what do you do first, and what, like, you know, if everybody's using gimbals, maybe you go with chaff first, maybe you go with hull or shields or thrusters or weapons or whatever you might do. And so it becomes more interesting than just normal PvP. Everybody's on an even playing field, and it doesn't cost anything. Like, you might spend 1,000,000 credits on the high side in rebuys, because you're all. And so we do rounds of 30 minutes where we do Sidewinder first, and we do the Imperial or the Federal Eagle, and then we do the Viper 3, and then for the last round we kind of collectively discuss and come up with something. Like, we've done A-rated vultures before, or we've done what we call Colonia or Coriolis darts. Coriolis darts is where you get a Viper 3. Excuse me, hold a sec. I get something to drink. I got a frog in my throat. So you start in a Viper 3 that you can get to just above 400 meters a second with stock stuff without engineering. You get 6 or 7 kilometers from the station. You go flight assist off and you boost, and you keep boosting, and you try to go through the mail slot, flip around, and come back out of the station without dying. All in FA off. And it's pretty damn hysterical fun. So we do that just for fun, right? Somebody asked about merits. You would turn the merits in. So merits are pretty straightforward. I've got a video on this, Paul. So if you look on the channel, it'll explain in more detail for you later than I can say right now. But in short, like, I think somebody said QBO. So QBO is going to be the home station for oh God, what faction is that? Somebody remind me. That's not Leon Rhee, is it? Shit, I can't remember. But anyway, you start at QBO, and there's 2 ways to do it. You would start it if you're buying cargo, essentially buying whatever their material is to take to another station. You would buy it at QBO, fly to the station nearby, and turn it in there. If you're doing merits via combat, yet you would turn it in at either QBO or any station that is in that power, right? So it's either way. You can do your 750 merits as 750 tons of cargo. I use a Type 9 for it because you can easily get 750 tons in a Type 9 with a shield, which you can't do in the cutter with a shield. So that's why I generally recommend the Type 9 for it. But yeah, if you look at the video on the channel, it'll talk you right through it, right? And no, Renwin, I don't have COVID. I've just been talking a lot the last few days and been up very, very late with very little sleep because of a video I'm working on that you guys will see hopefully by Friday is what I'm hoping. I said earlier, it's a very in-depth graphical analysis. So it's every single setting, every single option, what their frame rate impact was, what it looks like visually, right? I've got easily 40 hours already in it, if not more. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, I never really try to push that, but if you follow me on Twitter, I did post on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, a sample of 3 of the settings. And so, for example, one of the things I talk about is like shadows, for example. And I don't remember exactly the number, but ultra shadows, I think it's about a 14% frame rate impact over no shadows. And high shadows look not horrible. Medium and low shadows look horrendous. So that essentially you would never run medium or low, and really almost not even high. So if you're on a system that can support it, you would run ultra or just off. And so I go through every single setting and to explain the impact of each of them. Some of them are tiny and there's basically no impact. Some of them, the impact is massive. So... and yes, I will be getting some sleep shortly. I was up last night till 10 a.m. this morning, and it's now 11:30 p.m. for me. So I did get 4 or 5 hours this afternoon. So anyway, back to CQC. If we get, I think we've got 4 already. Moniker, did you say you're in?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Moniker, me, Newton, and Storm. So we got at least 4 guys in chat. If you're up for coming to join us for CQC, please do, especially if you've never done it. It really is huge fun. For those that don't know, in a very quick nutshell, you get either the Imperial Fighter, the Condor, the Sidewinder, or the Eagle. They're all very differently outfit, though, than the standard ships in the game, and they actually fly a little differently. You're in an arena. We'll probably do team deathmatch, or capture the flag. You do team deathmatch, and it's just when you die, you respawn. There's no rebuy. It won't cost you anything. It's whatever happens in CQC stays in CQC. And if you're into combat and you want to stretch your skills and try some PvP combat, great way to get into it. So please come give it a try if you haven't. So, and with that, guys, especially for those that have been with me all night, thank you very much for sticking, especially with the issues at the beginning. For those here at the end, my final time tonight was 2 hours 26 minutes and 1 second, and so not what I was hoping. I was hoping for under 2, and I think the winners will certainly be under 2. But I hope you guys will enter the competition if you're thinking about it. We've already gotten 7 entries, and we're only a few days in, so we've got almost 2 weeks left. So get your entries in, and I look forward to seeing you guys. I don't have a guest for this Friends on Friday yet. I'm going to spin that up next week as well, so I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday for Sidewinder Slaughter, and then next Tuesday for Tutorial Tuesday. Until then, thanks everybody, and remember to fly dangerously. See you guys.